What? You carry on, Jazz. Carry on. This is what happens when you drink rum and you're about to do a broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know whether you
and you've
caught
had
it, but Jazz was bringing me back to my childhood with his singing. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hammertime of our lives. I'm Gatesy. This is Falls from Iron. If you're new to the channel, do us a favour. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any new notifications of any content that we upload to the channel. That would be very much appreciated, whether you are watching this live or at your own leisure. Now, this is concentrating on season 1998-1999, which was quite a seminal moment in our Premier League history because it was actually our highest ever finish in the Premier League era. We finished 5th, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty good, pretty good. So, joining me to discuss this pivotal moment in our history, I have the regular 2 contributors. We've got Andy Miles. How are you doing, sir?
Not bad, mate. My week is over. It's over.
Oh,
been a long.
You get Friday off. That's not allowed.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to go and see Dookie tomorrow for a bit of lunch. Give him a little hug. I like giving him a hug every now and again. It cheers him up. So
I might pop there after work myself, mate.
What time are you going?
If you're going to be around.
Oh, I'm going at midday.
Oh God!
I'm only staying for a couple. I've got another appointment in the evening.
Oh.
And I'm on the hard stuff. I'm on the hard stuff.
Oh.
I'm on the hard stuff.
Is that Corona?
No. I ain't had COVID yet. I've got Desperado.
Ah, right. Fair enough. So Tom's saying we've got some great shirts, and he had my one. This one's got on the back is number 3 Dicks. Whereas Tom he had DiCanio. So
great.
Yeah. Two ex West Ham captains, so why not?
First three letters are the same, aren't they? Yep, great.
Yeah, close, but no cigar. And also joining me, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, resplendent in claret and blue in the home kit from this season. Jazz, how are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad, sir. Not too bad. Been enjoying the Euro game, so a bit of a break before the next phase, and had my 2nd vaccination at lunchtime. So, yeah, feeling okay at the moment. Hope things don't change. So, yeah, really looking forward to today. And I had to get this old shirt out, clear a bit of the dust away.
You on, Jess? I'm on the woods.
Usual, mate. Bacardi, usual again.
Is it?
Yeah, Bacardi for me.
Hard
Bacardi.
enough.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so on to the matter at hand. So, at the beginning of this season, we went into this season on the back of a World Cup in France. Well, England went home at the 2nd round stage, unfortunately. They were beaten on a penalty shootout by Argentina. This came as a result. Well, maybe not as a result. I'm probably being unfair, but a part of the puzzle was a sending off for a certain Manchester United number 7. Do we remember who that was, guys?
Yep, Mr. Beckham.
Oh, I thought it was Phil Neville.
Not quite.
Fuck up, Phil.
Quite. And do you know what our first home game of this season was? Who we were playing?
The years.
First game at Upton Park was against Manchester United.
Oh.
Manchester United. So up rocks David Beckham, an East End lad, in the wake of obviously getting sent off for his country in a World Cup. I was there with my best mate, and it was a really hot atmosphere. I remember this. A really hot atmosphere. Finished in a 0-0 draw. Didn't really think much of it. This is just a little aside, little bit of.
I don't remember it, but that's a good result, isn't it? That's a great result.
Yeah. Well,
here
was where it got interesting. Was 0-0 draws not particularly interesting. The following day and into the Monday, I started getting a load of phone calls. And it was because there was a photograph that was taken David Beckham, I used to sit in the Bobby Moore lower, and David Beckham in the first half came over and took a corner right in front of where I sat. And as he came over and took this corner, I always remember, because I used to sit near the stairwell. I'm sitting there minding my own business, waiting for him to take the corner, and these two lads come pelting down the stairs, and they had t-shirts that were all "Bet Your Country Down" or whatever, and they were sort of like ranting and raving and really sort of going into one sort of thing. And I didn't think anything of it. It was like, all part and parcel of, the Bobby Moore lower at the time. Thought nothing of it. Following day, it turns out that at that precise moment in time, as that was going on, David Beckham's looking into the Bobby Moore lower. You got these two Herberts that have come flying down the stairs, ranting and raving, and a photograph was taken. And right in the middle of it, slap bang in the middle, clear as day, was me and my best mate. And this photograph was used on the Sunday papers. It was used on the Monday papers. So I was getting phone calls left, right, and centre. And when David Beckham brought out his autobiography a couple of years later, this photograph was used in his autobiography. So true story, I am in David Beckham's autobiography as a result of a match that occurred during this season.
Wow.
Doesn't take us anywhere. But
as long as they didn't think you were involved as well, you never know with the police, do you? We want to speak to you, sir.
I was sitting there.
Gates's face is already on Crime Watch anyway, so they knew who he was.
Steady.
It's not, do you know this man? No, it's Gatesy.
If you buy a used car from this man. How you doing, Kent? Hope you're well, mate. We also won the Youth Cup final that season. Yes, we did. I was there for that one as well. Wasn't it 9-0 or something, wasn't it? It's ridiculous. But Beckham got a warm welcome in that first game. He did. Very warm. I'm talking like white hot. Dwight York was due to sign or had just signed for Man U. Yeah, I don't know if he was in the team that day. I don't remember. But as I say, it was definitely
I'll have a
our
look
first
while we're
game
talking
of the season. And as I say, that photograph went everywhere, and smack bang in the middle of it is me and my best mate. So there you go. Just a useless little bit of filler. So, Jazz, we'll turn our attention to yourself. So you've obviously got your list of the comings and the goings and the ins and the outs, not just at West Ham, but at various clubs around the FA Carling Premiership at the time.
Yeah, I'll do a bit of what Duke does first about the seasons.
I think we're getting a signal from Andy. What's up, mate?
Yeah. Dwight York started the game with Andy Cole up front in that game.
Fair enough.
Yeah, not bad.
Sorry, Jazz.
Not bad together.
Yeah. Sorry, Jazz.
I actually thought that was a breaking news that we signed someone. Seriously, I thought Milesy, something's happening on the internet and there's some news, but never mind.
We've signed Messi on a free.
Yeah, never mind. But anyway, yeah, so this was the 7th season of the Premier League after being established in 92. And also the 100th season of top flight football in England, not counting the years lost to the 2 world wars. Of the original clubs in the first Football League season, only Aston Villa, Blackburn, Derby and Everton were present for this season. And I might be wrong, Gatesy, but I think Everton and Arsenal are perhaps the only clubs that have never been relegated.
I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
I know Arsenal certainly haven't. And I think if Everton have, I think they haven't spent that long in the second tier. But I've got a funny feeling that they both are mainstays, if you will.
I think so. And the last season or the season before, I think Everton stayed up by a point. I remember that on the last day. So I think Coventry used to be in the league along. But anyway, they've gone down since.
I didn't know that, Mr. Burford. That's a feather in the cap of Eastleigh, I have to say. That they've never been relegated either.
There you go.
Until this season, neither have Sam Allardyce, but that's another story.
Definitely. And the other notable thing is, if I have a quick look at a record, so in this season, Solskjaer became the first player to score a hat-trick as a substitute in the Premier League.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, and the top scorers in the league were Hasselbank, Owen and York, all on 18 goals. With Anelka and Andy Cole on 17.
Goals.
No,
Wow.
no. So a lot of the goals were shared around, I think, because United had Andy Cole on 17, York on 18. So a lot of goals in there. Hat tricks, you got Clive Mundonka with a hat trick near opening, sort of in August for Charlton against Southampton. 2 hat tricks by Michael Owen. He's really on fire this season. I mean, you just can't get near the
He
kid when
came
you're
off the back of the World
defending.
Cup, didn't he?
I would not like to be marking him. He's rapid.
Yeah.
Robbie
evening, Mr.
Fowler
Brown.
scored a hat trick. Solskjaer, Nelka, Kevin Campbell, Chris Armstrong. So the most assists was Bergkamp and Hasselbank with 13. And 4 people after that.
Got the most assists, did you say, Jazz?
Yeah. Joint with
he was
Bergkamp on
joint
13.
top goal scorer and top assist maker. That is incredible.
I had a lot of time for him, and he's built like an ox, very strong, good player,
Quick,
good height,
strong, everything you want in a centre forward.
Definitely. And then the other interesting fact is the David Beckham, Berkovic, Steve Guppy, and Dwight York are the next 4 with 11 assists in that season.
Okay.
So that's a bit of the highlight. So let's go into the transfers now. So again, you're finding out there's so many ins and outs at every club. You're looking at 10-11 in, 10-11 out. Arsenal's main signings were Kanu from Inter for 5.6 million.
What a legend.
Yep.
No one would ever say his Christian name.
Go on, Gatesy.
You know what it is, don't you? You know who it was, didn't you?
I'll call him Nigel. Yeah, starts with the name.
Nigel Kanu.
Nwankwo. I don't know.
Nwankwo.
Yeah.
I
Freddie Ljungberg.
think it's the letters from 2 to 5 that were probably the ones that got commentators a little bit skittish.
He's quite a slender, tall figure, wasn't he? Stand out, all arms.
Did you know he had heart problems? He had heart problems. I think when he went from, I think it was Ajax to Inter Milan or wherever. He did a medical and they found an abnormality with his heart. It got sorted, but quite incredible. I mean, he was in his early 20s at this point, or maybe even his late teens.
I'll tell you what, I was thinking of that when I was looking at Mark Bivin-Faye during this season for us, who sadly passed away from sort of similar sort of heart issues. Freddie Ljungberg came in from Swedish team Halmstads for 4 million. That's a lot of money for a team in Sweden. I'm sure they could do a lot with that money.
A lot of IKEA meatballs.
Oh, yeah. Ian Wright has left to join the mighty Hammers for 670. I love that signing as a kid. He's one of those strikers you always wanted on your side, and I thought it's too late. But although I knew there wasn't too much left in the engine, I was still quite excited when that was announced. And that's the kind of things Harry got up to back then anyway. Chelsea brought in Pierluigi Casaraghi from Lazio for 7 million.
I was there that game at not at Stamford Bridge, at Upton Park, where his career basically got ended. I think it was a Shaka Hislop clattered into him, and that was his career done. Don't think he ever played again.
Well, they're saying he's 20. Well, they're saying he's 29 at the beginning of this season. So
yeah.
Marcel Desailly, 29 again, 6 million from Milan. So Chelsea are just. They don't care about the age. They like the big names, and they're all signing for 6-7 million each. Albert Ferrer from Barcelona at the age of 28, 4 million. So they've spent 15-16 million on 2 29-year-olds and a 28. Well done, Chelsea.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This was Vialli was the manager at this point, I think, because it didn't. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because Vialli took over from Hullet in '97, so he would have. So Vialli.
Vialli's the manager back then. Also, there was coming in. Let me just quickly check. So Brian Laudrup was a great signing. Well, they're saying it's a free transfer from Rangers, age 29. I think he was on crazy money for that time. I remember that. Brian Laudrup's contract was absolutely nuts. Again, it must be Matthew Harding. I don't know his background, or perhaps he became an equal Shearer with Bates.
He's
I don't
gone.
know.
He's gone by this point.
Oh, sorry, he's
point.
gone.
He
But there's
passed
a lot
away
of
in
money
a
coming in, isn't there?
helicopter
There's
crash.
Oh, it's all happened by then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of money they're spending. So they spent 17 million. How much they got back? Oh wow, they got 12 million back. But how's? No, sorry.
Ken
They
Bates was
spent
still
12
in.
million.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of Brian Ladrop's come and gone in the same season. So Marquise has gone to Southampton, and then Middlesbrough, Brian Dean for 3 million. Gary Pallister's gone back to Borough from United, 2.5 million. Those are the main signings for them. They got rid of Paul Merson for 6 million. He's gone to Villa. Emerson, he's gone 6 million back to Tenerife in Spain. Nottingham Forest.
If you go back to the beginning of the stream, Mark, once this is finished, if you go back to the beginning of the stream, we actually covered this, and there's a story that I've told about that first game, but I won't go into it. I've already sort of bored people with my little anecdote about that match.
Steve Stone has joined Villa from Forest for 7 million. Kevin Campbell's gone to Turkey. Yeah, quite tidy. Kevin Campbell's gone to Turkey, 3.6. Even Campbell was okay. Wow, big Duncan Ferguson has joined Newcastle for nearly 10 million. I can't remember him for Newcastle. Do you know that? I couldn't remember that.
He wasn't there for very long.
And did he go back to Everton then after that?
He must have.
He did.
I told you people get homesick when they leave Everton, Liverpool. I don't know what it is. Hamann, the German defensive midfield from Bayern, joined for 7 million. Didier Domi, left back from Paris, PSG, 5 million. Asparilla's gone, 6 million back to Parma. Batty's joined Leeds, 5 million. Dwight York, 17 million to United from Villa. Jap Stam, 15. This is when Fergie's gone nuts with a checkbook. 15 million Jap Stam, PSV.
Thing is, what would they be worth now?
Yeah, spent really well. Good ages, 26, 25. Good ages, you know.
Yeah.
Blomqvist, Jesper Blomqvist, Parma, 6.3 million. Going out, Palace for 2 million. There's not much else going out. So again, actually, net outspend of 36 million for United, 15 million for Chelsea. Yeah, they're really going for it. Let's have a look at some other ones. Dion Dublin's gone to Villa at the age of 29, 7.7 million.
I can't take him seriously until now he does Homes Under the Hammer.
He's all right. He's all right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Do something. I'm going to hold my hands up to this. When I have a day off during the week.
No, here we go.
I'm sitting there and it's sort of like early, sort of like 9, 10 o'clock. Seriously, I sit there watching it. I find myself sitting there watching it and wondering, how much they've done the house up for and all the rest of it. And I just wish I had the sort of like either the money or the knowledge to be able to do it.
I like the bit when the agents revalue it. That's exciting times, isn't it? That's really good.
Yeah, definitely.
So Wimbledon, John Hartson has joined them midway through the season from West Ham for 10 million. That was a surprise, but we'll discuss that later. I was completely gobsmacked and shocked.
Yeah.
And the Impies joined Leicester, 2.7 million. Villa. Steve, they spent a lot of money. Yeah, Villa spent a net outflow of 16 million. Wow. Yeah, they bought in Steve Watson, Merson, Alan Thompson, Steve Stone, Dublin. Unsworth has joined them from West Ham, 4 million. A lot of players are just not sticking around. I mean, he was homesick. Yeah, I was really upset at that. I thought he was a cracking player. Unsworth, settled in really well. And in the same season, not only has he gone back to Villa, he's then moved on to Everton. It's just something about Everton. Players can't stay from that area. 4 million, he's gone back. David Batty, he joined Leeds. Derby Carbonari, I remember that name. Centre back. Derby, 2.7 million.
Horacio Carbonari.
Yeah.
Argentinian, wasn't he?
Yeah. Does it? Yeah, should tell me. Yep, you're right. Christian Daly's a big transfer going to Blackburn.
Genius.
Yeah, 7 million. What a good amount of money then.
You are the love of my life for Christian Daly.
This is a funny one. For all you Championship Manager 97, 98 players, Everton have bought in a player called Bakayoko for 6 million. I think Duke would have known as well that there was
Ibrahim
high.
Bakayoko.
He was a great player on this sort of fictional management game where he was kind of
Yeah.
regarded as a future star, but just never
Crap
made
in
it.
real
So
life.
yeah, so Everton have kind of bought him in. Liverpool, they bought in Rigobert Song.
Hey, Jordan.
Yep. Jean-Michel Ferry. I'm not sure about him. Danny Murphy's come in from Crewe. They got rid of Jason McAteer to Blackburn. Neil Ruddock's joined West Ham. 300 grand, which is
Razor.
good
Is that what he
price.
went for?
Yeah,
That's his food bill.
don't trust these websites. I told you, all the transfer websites haven't got a clue. Tim Sherwood.
He knew how to put a pie away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Even now, you just can't help it. He was on one of those programs where they chase you for debt. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh yeah, can't pay, we'll take it away.
Yeah, he was on one of them.
And his wife chucked the water at him, didn't she?
She was a proper Essex babe. She went nuts. Yeah, she had to be
They
calmed
live
down.
out in Ashford, don't they? I'm sure they
Yes.
live out towards Ashford.
Yeah, and then he went because she was going nuts. He went, "I'll meet you around the corner. I'll meet you around the corner." And then he goes, "I haven't got the money now, but I'll give it to you in a couple of weeks."
Ex-professional footballer. How does that happen?
Not only that, it was a divorce. I think a recent divorce that kind of he lost quite a lot on that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Tim Sherwood. So Blackburn have sold their captain to Spurs for $5 million. And then Blackburn, nothing interesting there. And then Southampton. Okay, Stuart Ripley's gone to Southampton. James Beattie's joined Southampton from Black. So he was at Blackburn, James Beattie. So he never really made it there. So at the age of 20, Southampton has spotted something in him for $1 million.
He had a decent career.
Yeah. West
He
Ham,
went to Everton as well.
He did.
Yep. So West Ham, Mark Vivian Foe around $5 million, DeCanio $2 million, Ian Wright 700 grand, Scott Minto 1.3 million, Neil Ruddock 300 grand, Mark Keller's come in on a free transfer apparently. Margus apparently is a couple of million, I think. Javier Margus. I was never keen on this guy, Margus. Just never keen on him. 29, and he never settled. He gave Harry not good grief because he was in the international, professional player, but he just never settled. And there's a lot of money to spend on 29-year-old Breakers. Why does it say that we bought Tim Breaker from QPR? Has he come and gone? Don't know what's going on this website.
No, he got sold to QPR.
And he didn't come back then, did he?
No.
I think what they're saying is when people come back from loan sometimes, I don't know what they're on about. Joe Cole, what is his website doing? Smasio Abu to Ipswich on loan. Hartson outgoing 10 million, Unsworth 4 million, Impey 2 million. So net spend. Oh, actually, I reckon we've made a. Hang on a minute.
Well, I reckon about 6 or 7 million profit, and it does.
That's it. That's the issue. They missed out all the websites are missing out the Trevor Sinclair transfer. I don't know why. He came in from QPR. Great signing. And one that was surprised. Why is he still out on the shelf? It's obvious the guy is a great player, and you'll see it in all the games I cover this season. Along with Berkovic, they just rip it up this season, you know. Yeah. Great player, great movement, everything. Again, when I see players like that, and I think about people who back Haller, I'm like, have a look at the games of Berkovic and Sinclair. They don't get it. They run into the positions. They run their backsides off to get there, and make things happen.
Berkovic just found space so easily. Didn't
my God!
Seriously, I think if Eyal Berkovic, right?
Brilliant.
What was the phrase? And I can't remember who used it. It might have been West Ham Online. I think turned around, and I loved the phrase, so I'm borrowing it from him. Eyal Berkovic, he didn't. I don't think it was about Eyal Berkovic, but Eyal Berkovic could find space in a single bed with Gemma Collins. He seriously could.
The thing with him, you watch him, and he has got a lot of space, and I'm thinking, good players always create space, or is he never man-marked properly? So I don't know. I think it's more about you just couldn't keep tabs on the guy because he just didn't stand still. Imagine you marking Haller. How easy would that be? He doesn't move, does he? No, I want it. That's why I just get so angry with people like Haller. And I hate people who say, "Oh, it was a system. It was a system." That's why you never used to hear that in the old days. Every player
No.
moved to 7, 8 clubs. You know, people like David or whatever. You just settled in. You know, you make things happen. You move. So yeah, so that's the season. So 7th Premiership season. Solskjaer's arrived. Fergie's got the checkbook out. West Ham are going to have a good season. Really good quality players, and when you watch some of the games, I mean, you've got quality everywhere. You've got the emergence of Lampard, who's going to be so good this season, especially from corners. You've got Ruddock, you've got Lomas, you've got Ian Wright, John Hartson, Berkovic,
Mark Keller.
Kitson.
I
mean,
liked
that is
Mark
quality,
Keller.
you know.
So did I.
Got real quality then. You can't go wrong.
Still had Skippy. Skippy was still there as well.
Skippy was still there, and there's a story about some particular fan who said that was their favourite player, really. The only thing this season didn't have is, funny enough, is we go out at the first round in both the cups, so there's nothing to talk about on that front, which is a shame.
We could concentrate on the league.
League it is, sir. Yeah, so that's kind of the transfers and introduction to the season. 98, 99 when I got my first job. So I'm working now. I'm growing up.
Well.
Yeah, thank you.
Credit
Only
to you.
only took me so many years.
I was midway through junior school.
Oh, now you make me feel really old.
Did you cry when your
hell.
mum dropped you off? Did you cry, Marvin?
No, she used to make sure I had a chocolate bar in my packed lunchbox. That's the only excuse.
Get in there.
Little penguin bar or a wagon wheel.
Little penguin. Oh, wagon wheel. Can't beat a wagon wheel. Can't beat a wagon wheel.
Was I the only one that used to think that all the different colours means a different flavour in penguin? Or was I the only one?
No, I used to think that as well. Oh, I'll tell you what, Mark, he's bringing back some memories. Bloody hell, that was that long ago?
Wow, I completely forgot about that.
That is scary. I
didn't know she died like
time
that.
goes.
Did
Yeah, she got shot on her doorstep.
Why, what'd she do?
Oh my God.
She was a TV presenter. She presented Crime Watch, if I remember correctly. No, that's Suzanne Dando.
Oh.
That's Suzanne Dando.
Oh, this one I remember.
I don't think they were related. She was a TV presenter. Yeah. I think she did Crime Watch amongst other things, and she was just shot on her, as he says, shot on her doorstep.
Yeah, a bit like that estate agent in Fulham.
I'm not too sure whether the guy. I got a funny feeling the guy that they got for it wasn't it that Barry George, otherwise known as Barry Balsara, and he was a bit of a weirdo, and they banged him up and all the rest of it, and then they sort of got certain forensic evidence and this, that, and the other, and basically it turned out it wasn't him that did it. I'm pretty sure that's the one.
They never caught the one who did the estate agent in Fulham, the lady. That was a similar
Susie
one
Lamplugh.
the year before. Yeah, that came up, the documentary.
Yeah, Mr. Kipper. Yeah. Bad news.
I don't know about
anyway,
that. Yeah.
We've gone off on a tangent. We do this quite regularly, guys. I do apologise. So, Jazz, thank you very much indeed for your transfer roundup.
Mr. Jazz White. Where's the yellow tie?
That's it. We're going to have to do that on transfer.
Jim White.
In a yellow tie, because Jim White doesn't work with Sky Sports now. So I reckon Jazz, you could be in there, mate.
I think I've got one. Yellow tie. I've got most colours up there somewhere. Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Jazz. So, Mr. Miles, we're going to start with you. So, usual format, 3 matches from this season that you can pick. Doesn't have to be a win. Could be a draw, could be a defeat, could be a cup game, could be absolutely any game you want. You have carte blanche, my friend. So, match number 1 of your 3-match selection of the season we finished 5th in the Premier League.
Yeah, so my first game is on Halloween, actually. And you think it would be a nightmare trip to St James's Park, not the greatest place where we've got a record, but
very hard.
But we done really well in this game. We come out with a 3-0 win, which was very, very good. The one thing you can't say is this Newcastle team had some qualities from after the last few years, especially with Alan Shearer up there, but. I'll go through the team. So, Shay Given in goal, a very underrated goalkeeper in my opinion. Charvet,
Yes.
Dabby's ass, Andy Griffin. Oh my God, I
Yep.
remember him. A future Hammer, Stuart Pearce. Nobby Solano, David Batty, Stephen Glass.
Another future Hammer.
Yes, Solano,
Yeah.
last day of the window signing?
Yeah.
Correct player.
Yeah. God rest his soul, Gary Speed, Paul Dalglish, and Alan Shearer. And
Paul
look at
Dalglish, son
that
of
team,
Kenny.
gents. Before I read the West Ham one, that's very English, isn't it? Or British, really. I'll go for it now. So Shaka in goal, Rio Ferdinand, Ian Pearce, Razor, Andy Impey, Mark Keller, Lampard, Lomas, Sinclair, Paul Kitson. This is actually his first start of the season as well, and up front with Ian Wright.
Yeah, he was dead unlucky with injuries, to be fair, Kitson.
Yeah, and obviously that was against his old club as well, wasn't it?
He does really well in my games. He's class.
That game that Kent mentions, again, I was there for that one, and he's right. It was full of incident, but no, nobody picked it because nobody wanted to be the one to pick the bones over a 5-1 home defeat where we had 3 players sent off.
Oh, forget that one.
Honestly, that game was just like, I think that was the game, if I remember correctly, where Ian Wright got sent off. It was Rob Harris who was the ref, if I remember correctly, who was absolutely useless. And he went into the referee's room and just smashed it up.
Did he?
Yeah, he just trashed it. He started chucking things around, and the referee went back after the game, and it looked like, oh my goodness, what happened here? And it was like Ian Wright's just sort of like gone to town on you, mate.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
Yeah, that's not good, Jordan. If everybody started dying the year you were born, mate, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. So, as you can see there before I start, all the goals were in the second half, but there was a couple of incidents. What happened? Chances, I should say. So, Ian Pearce just had the ball just inside the Newcastle half. Played the ball into the box. Newcastle headed the ball away. I think it was Charvet with the clearance. Sinclair had the ball chested the ball down just inside the Newcastle penalty on the right-hand side. Great ball into the back post, and we had a header cleared off the line. I think it was Kitson with the header. The commentator doesn't say who it was, but it was a clearance off the line. And this is where a few comments, because I was doing a bit of research before the game, that's where I found out about Paul Kitson, etc. The ref got really, I think he got demoted or something even back then. For his performance, and I could understand why. As my report goes on, so Solano, everyone knows how good Solano is with the ball. Played a short corner, and the ball just got laid back to him. Ripped the ball to the back post, and before Shearer headed the ball into the empty net, Shaka Hislop was nowhere. The referee pulled up for a push on him. So yeah, it was no one could understand, but that was a let off. Also, Andy Impey got away with a penalty shout. He clearly took him out. The ref didn't blow, so we got away with that as well. And as Kent just rightly put in there, this is where the controversial start, and obviously I think this is how we go on to the win. Stuart Pearce was sent off in the second half for an elbow. In now day and age, it would be a sending off, but you got away with a lot more back then. It was a bit of an elbow, but he wasn't looking at him, if that makes sense. It was still an elbow, but he wasn't looking. The ref sent him off, and so from then, I think that was early. I think it actually says it on the team sheet, Gatesy, but don't have to put. I think it was early. I think it was the 47th minute. Pearce got sent off, I believe.
Hang on.
So
Let me just have a little wee look here. Just scroll out. Stuart Pearce, 48th minute, according to that.
Oh, very close. I was close, but no. So he was sent. So he was sent off, and as you can see there, 56 minutes, we get the first goal. So. Hislop with a long ball, flicked on by Kitson, finds Ian Wright, who starts driving at the defence. Newcastle fans, I think we had onrush, and so you know what Sinclair was like running forward. Eventually, the defenders uh, stepped off about 23, 24 yards out. Ian Wright just drove the ball right in the bottom corner. And you might be able to help me here, gent. So was the away fans in near the corner up high? Because that's where they were going.
Usually,
and, like, cheering.
yeah. I'll be honest, I've never been to St James's Park. It's on my bucket list. But I know
when I go now,
they say you're always right up in the gods, and it's like
in the gods. But Gatesy on this side, it was like in the main stand, if that makes sense. So they'll run into the corner flag, but on the side. So Kent may have maybe had to do it in the chat, but they weren't in the normal place where I've seen it been.
Does it look like they've got that huge stand in this game? Was that always there? Was it built after the money? I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's the main stand what got redeveloped. I think everything else was already done. I think, Jazz, to be honest.
I think Dick's mentioned it's one of the grounds that's very difficult to play. Their fans go really create such an atmosphere. I think Allen Road's another one. We've always found it.
Yeah.
Once we go past the Midlands, we traditionally find it quite hard, especially in Yorkshire and Merseyside.
I'll tell you another grand.
The M25.
Another grand. What we struggle against. I know they weren't they were a bit of a yo-yo side. The end was Middlesbrough. We never used to get a good result there either, in my opinion. That was always a dodgy ground as well.
Yeah.
But so that was the first goal, gents, and then moving on, Trevor Sinclair picks the ball up in the West Ham half. Starts running at the ball. And, it's like you just see his like face pumping. Do you know when he just starts picking up his stride when he just starts running with the ball? He then tries to play the ball to the left at Ian Wright. Then the ball got deflected and went the other way towards the left back position. Kitson gets the first touch. Looks like he's going to shoot, but the touch falls kindly back to Sinclair. Another shot. Given may have done better, but it was the power what beat him. 2-0, and Sinclair went running like that, giving it all to the crowd. And I think the players knew just what a result that is. I know they're down to 10 men, but St James's is never a good place to go. We should have been free up straight after, straight ball up from Hartson to Hartson, flicks the ball on, finds Sinclair. Then he starts running again, driving the ball. Then he hits the centre of the ball, plays a cutback to Wright, who then dinks it over Given. But the defender clears it off the line, unfortunately. Ian Wright thought he scored. And then, as you can see, gents, in the 90th minute, Hartson picks the ball up from the chest from a headed clear. I think it was by Ian Pearce. Chest. First touch on the volley, plays Ian Wright straight through, 1-on-1. You know how deadly Ian Wright is with his right foot. We went on to win 3-0. Happy Halloween and a great trip for the away fans.
Fantastic. And I went up there that often.
Good. Nice one. Good selection. And correct me if I'm wrong. This was the second season in a row that we'd gone to St James's and got all 3 points, wasn't it? Because wasn't it the season before when Skippy got that goal where he was in the sort of like the St James's Park Stadium car park when he put it into the top corner? I'm sure he was.
He had his Castlemaine 4X.
Yeah, and I know it's one of your favourites, Kent, because I saw your Facebook status earlier, and as I say, it's on my bucket list. I need to get my backside to St James's. Yeah, definitely. You'd have to make it a weekend. I mean, you couldn't go up there and come up. Well, you could, but bloody hell,
it's a long way.
How many hours on a coach or whatever? Just no. I think I'd sooner go up there on the Friday, match on the Saturday, come back on the Sunday, whatever, just
you have to get the train. You have to get the train. Your old Bill will be all over you unless you don't drink.
Yeah, train or maybe even the plane, perhaps. Who knows?
No, you can drive, stay the night, drive back next day.
No, I couldn't drive, Jazz. No, no, it's too far. God.
Actually, you're right. It's not far from Scotland. You're right. It's well far. Just Newcastle, Carlisle, and you're nearly in Scotland. And that's when I think about it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So.
And the weird thing about St James's Park, sorry to while we're talking, it's so random. So you get there at the station and you start walking for about 10 minutes. You start walking up a little hill. All of a sudden, you see a football stadium. It's literally in the middle of the town centre. It's just it's so random. It's so random.
It's a bit like the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, isn't it? I mean, that is literally in the centre of Cardiff. It's not like Wembley Stadium, which is on the periphery of London, where where the Millennium Stadium is like slap bang there in the middle of Cardiff. You know, and it's the same.
What about Leeds?
Because
Leeds and Newcastle, I always think of them as one team cities. Is Leeds ground roughly?
Oh, they are.
Well? That's what I thought. Yeah,
I don't know. Again, that's another ground I've not been to. Elland Road. I've been to Old Trafford. I've been to Stamford Bridge. I've been to Tottenham, which you'll find out about later. But I've never been to Elland Road, and I've never. I'll
tell you a ground what I hate. Leicester.
I haven't been to
them fucking clapping things. You want to flipping murder them. Yeah. The King Power. That's random. That's in the middle of that. You walk out and it's just everyone mixes with everyone. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
I think it used to be Filbert Street, which is in the middle, I think. And they got a rugby team as well, haven't they? Leicester rugby team, which is
Leicester Tigers. Yeah.
So they're there or thereabouts, but yeah, you're right, mate.
Yeah, they play at Welford
I need to go
Road,
to more
I
ways.
think they play some of their European games at the.
One place I want to go to is Hillsborough. I've never been to Hillsborough.
Oh no, I want them to go.
Oh yeah, proper old stadium. That proper old stadium, big club.
You look at the old footage. Yeah, they had that. Really
well, they always used to have the FA Cup semi-finals, didn't they? Before it all went to Wembley, it was always at places like Hillsborough, Villa Park, Old Trafford.
I don't like Villa Park either.
They were basically the ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been to Villa Park. Went there for the 2006 semi-final against Borough. So I've got that one crossed off my list. But there's a good few I want to sort of go to, but I will before I shuffle off. So anyway. Miles E, thank you very much for match number one of your 3-match selection.
Thank you.
Really, really good choice. A 3-0 away win at St James's. Always good. Jazz, over to you, my friend. The floor is yours. Talk to me.
Yeah, before I start, this is my original home season that I actually bought. So you got the Johnny Monker signature somewhere here, if you can see it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him signing it with the 2 kids last season. Or the season before, the born-again Christian, who we signed from. Well, he had the history with Spurs as a very young player.
Did he do it?
Yeah,
did he do a cross?
Swindon,
did he do a cross as well?
No. I was happy to hear it.
He was great, John Monker.
I think he needed to calm down in life, and that's helped him, and I'm glad for that. Because, some of the things I hear about him, I think he needed some kind of calming influence, and I'm really glad he's found it.
Do you know that story about when he apparently turned up and there wasn't enough kit at Chadwell Heath before a training session, and he went charging out in just a pair of boots and socks, and sort of like he's stark bollock naked, and I think he went diving into a puddle of muddy water and whatever, and you're just like, oh no, and the sky cameras were there, I believe. I mean, you don't hear of players doing that these days. He's a proper character.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Was it walking across the mines or something, wasn't it?
Oh, bloody hell. Crazy.
Was it that when I think it was in my Hammers 11 with Russ when he done it, when they were walking across. Do you remember?
I remember that, yeah. Go on.
And he was just like, I went walking through, and it was just like mind the mines, and he just started walking across his field. He could have been blown up on 10.
Oh, man.
he completely lost the plot. But no, like you said, I think he's in a better place now, Jazz. Obviously, you saw him there. The year before, and he just seems so mellow compared to what he was back then.
I think he's again another cult figure. I think. Sadly, I think his appearances under Radnat weren't that many, but he just seemed to be around the place. And
even Glenn Moder played him, didn't he? Glenn Moder played him for his first year as well.
I thought he had everything he could. He had a good range of passing, good skill. He could stick his foot in, got the odd goal.
By Bonzo? He was, wasn't he? He was a Bonzo signing. I'm sure he was.
He was, but the story is that Harry asked his son Jamie, who are the best midfielders in the Premier League, and he said, Dad, this guy at Swindon is one of them. So again, it's a Harry influence more than Billy, but they were probably together as a duo. So he signed him, and he was, really good for us. I think him and Martin Allen, they're okay, good lads, and good really.
So your first match, Jazz?
My first match is going to be the 12th of September, 1998. Just before I go in there, here's the first programme of the season. West Ham, Manchester United, Gatesy, the one you went to.
I was there, yeah.
It features Ian Wright.
Still £2.
Oh,
still
that's
£2,
a point,
sir.
actually. Do I have
£2.
the... Milesy, actually.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, look at that.
You reminded me.
Great.
There you go. That is the programme from the away fixture at St James's that season. Do apologise. I should have brought that up a little earlier, but Jazz bringing the programme up reminded me. There we go.
I think looking at the programme, I always kept telling everyone, if you want to get a glimpse of the season, read the first one and read the last one of the season. And obviously, we're all over Ian Wright. He's such a big name signing for us. Margus is there. And we still kept some of the crop from the old players in there. The other thing mentioned here is that, which is really, really interesting. So during the close season, a whole team of experts under the guidance of the stadium manager, John Ball, and new head groundsman, Simon Jacobs, they've installed a new pitch and a state-of-the-art undersoil heating system that is one of the best in the world. So they have spent £800,000, which, that's a lot of money. Incorporating...
was in 98, 99.
Yeah, using all these funky Grassmaster companies, undersoil heating. So that's one story that caught my sort of mind. And the other one is regarding Frank Lampard. So,
Junior or senior?
Frank Lampard Jr. signs a new deal, signs a new 5-year deal. He had 2 years left. He signed a 5-year deal. He didn't want any kind of rumours or anything. And point two is that something is pissing him off. And it's the name Frank Lampard Jr. So he is clearly telling the fans in the programme that he doesn't want to be known as Frank Lampard Jr. anymore. Just Frank Lampard is good enough.
So what we meant to know his dad as?
Frank Lampard Senior, he says. He's senior. He ain't got an issue with me. Don't call me the junior. I'm my own man, my own name.
What if his dad says he doesn't want to be known as Frank Lampard Senior? What do we do then?
When you look at Frank,
Fat Frank.
Do we do sort of like what the Americans do and Frank Lampard the first and Frank Lampard the second?
Or they have those triple barrel names, don't they? Or
F.W.
Smith or J.W. But I see what he's saying. He's quite headstrong, and he's saying like he doesn't want any link to his dad, and he wants to make it on. It's difficult when your old man's number two.
Do you know what my dad's name is? Jazz, do you know what my dad's name is?
No.
Exactly the same as mine. My name's Robert Gates. My dad's name's Robert Gates. Guess what? My granddad's name was Robert Gates.
Really?
Just think about that. I'm the third. I'm the third one in line.
What about your sons or sons?
No. Didn't go with that.
I
broke with tradition. I gave him Robert as a middle name, or the eldest.
Oh, that makes more sense, doesn't it?
Twins. But
my dad's called Andrew as well.
None of us ever turned around and sort of like when I was growing up, I was always just referred to as young Rob. When there was the three of us, I was young Rob. My dad was Rob, and my granddad was Bob. Done.
Okay.
I didn't give a shit. A pretentious load of old crap.
I'm
anyway.
called Little Andrew, even though I'm bigger than all of them.
Oh.
Well, that was the thing. I was called Little Rob, even though I was taller than my dad. Frank Lampard Mark II. Good idea. Or you could have Frank Lampard, the prototype, and Frank Lampard, Mark II. I don't know. Yeah.
What about Frank Lampard Latin?
Gates III. Yes. Could do. That could be one way around it. But,
Sorry, Jazz.
what a load of crap.
That's all right. That's all right. But the good news in terms of capacity attendances, we have finally unshackled ourselves from stuck at 26,000. Our capacity is 35,647 now. I don't know when that happens in the season, whether that's at the beginning. But looking at it, no, because the Man United game Gatesy went to, it's only got 26,000 in there. But by the
There
end,
must be a typo.
See you, Ken.
I'll tell you what, that's a load of tosh because the crowd's still 25, and then the other website says it's capacities for some of
I'd
these
never thought of it
websites.
like that, Mr. Brown. I got to be honest. I'm quite grateful that I'm not Richard, because you're right. I would be.
Oh yeah, our fans
I'd be a
are
Richard
very
the
smart and very quick with their wit. Very quick.
East
And
End humour.
good news for everyone. Two of the official partners of Carling Premiership. One is McDonald's. One is good old Yorkie Bar. Get in there. There you go.
Not
Oh,
for
too
girls.
bad. It's
Yeah,
not for. We're not allowed to say that nowadays, though, are we? In case we offend people. It's not for female human beings.
Okay.
Well, you probably know this. In my company, I don't do it. Under the signature, if it's a lady, they say, is it her, his, or something like that? I don't get it. There's 3 little phrases are put underneath their signature.
Oh,
Her, his,
him, her, or they, probably.
I'll figure out next time.
Sorry, Jazz. With regards to the attendance on the website, what me and Gatesy used, the attendance was 26,010.
Yeah, see, so that capacity is still stuck at 26 then. Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough. Right, this is really odd. So the game I'm covering is at home. It's West Ham United against Liverpool. But the confusing thing is, and I kept thinking, God, am I talking about the right season? Am I getting confused? So this game, the scoreline in this game and the scoreline last season, and again the West Ham home to Liverpool, the goal scorers are exactly the same in exactly the same order for West Ham. I don't think that's happened before, Gatesy. You know, if you look at the West Ham Liverpool score, it's the same score as the season before and the same goal scorers for West Ham in the same order. That's weird.
That is crazy,
that's why
isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I kept thinking that I bloody covered that one last week. Am I going mad? Till I actually saw the footage and understood the minutes and what's gone on, and then I thought, no, I remember this one now. Yeah, it's weird. So it's West Ham United, Liverpool. 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. How dare the cameras not follow this game? But then as West Ham fans, I think we like Saturday 3 o'clock kickoffs. And that's obviously shown by next season when our first home game is a very, very unfriendly Monday 8 o'clock kickoff. So we're all going to be piling back home. God knows what time, getting ready for work. But there you go.
You hate the Monday evening kickoffs as well.
I always showed support for the Friday evening games, Gatesy. Always in support of that instead of Monday. So you got the whole weekend, the wife's happy, you're at home, helping her with the shopping and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, stuff Monday night football. Have it Friday night, for Christ's sakes.
Because you get home after having such a great evening, you're still thinking, God, I've still got Saturday off, I've still got Sunday off at home. Always like that. Mondays.
We're going to have to put up with midweek fixtures this season, aren't we? The season we're about to undertake,
Monday night
with Europe.
Monday nights Bovril instead of a beer.
Do you know something? I think the early signs ain't good. If they're going to stitch us up with Monday and Thursdays, and it's not good. Well, we've got Sundays anyway, haven't we? So all you churchgoers out there, I'm sorry that your Sundays are going to be ruined, but there we go. But looking at the team, Shaka Hislop in goal. Harry favours a 3-5-2 system with wing-back system.
I remember this. Yeah, he did.
Following the Glenn Hoddle model that he invented. So Ian Pearce, Ruddock and Potts back 3.
That's a good back 3, though, to be fair, isn't it?
I think Pottsy had a fair bit of pace,
Not
didn't he,
bad.
Marzi? I'll give him that. Yeah, he was fairly quick. And Pearce, not so. But Pearce is quite utility. You know, when you got a corner up front, he goes up there. Ruddock will probably stay back a bit.
Sorry, gents. Is Rio injured then, or was he just not fancied?
Very young days for Rio, I think. Just coming up, I think. He only made his debut.
No, I think Rio was established by this point, so I can only guess that he must have been either injured or suspended.
I don't think they
Yeah.
wanted to play him every game at that age. So he comes in and out quite often, and he's involved in a lot of things. Midfield technically uses class. I mean, Berkovic, Sinclair, Lampard, Skippy, Moncur. So it looks like Skippy's being used as a wing back alongside Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor
Tricky
was the
Trev.
complete player. There's nothing Trevor can't do. Tackle,
He could play
run back
up front. He could play on the wing.
my
He could play as a
God.
wing back. He could play
Superman.
centrally. Brilliant.
And I reckon this partnership is a dream that we don't think about. Again, little big man. Hartson and Ian Wright goes together like really well for me.
Well, they
Very
were
different.
teammates at Arsenal, don't forget. So they had an understanding from back then.
Yeah, Wenger just never really played too many games with them at that time. But the good thing is, like, I understand why Harry's done it, because we can't rely on Kitson's injury. So Ian Wright and Kitson in different ways are quite similar. So they'll complement John Hartson, who doesn't seem to miss too many games. So, and the subs, and I think Ian Downey's gone by now. So if Hartson gets injured, I'm not sure who cover for him. One moment. Liverpool, Brad Friedel, who made his name at Blackburn.
Yeah.
He's at Liverpool in goal.
He didn't have a great time at Liverpool, as my memory serves me.
Oh, that's odd. Interesting. So Liverpool are playing like a 5-4-1 system with Staunton, Harkness, Babb, Hegem, Carragher, the back five with
Was Carragher playing as a midfielder? As my memory playing tricks on me? I've got a sneaking.
No, he was originally a CDM, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
got
sure.
a
I've got a
he was a little
feeling-
bit further forwards. I don't think he was a centre back at this point, or because he played centre back and right back, didn't he? Sort of mainly.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Jamie Redknapp and Inter in the middle with McManaman and Berger as the wingers, but the way McManaman and Berger are, they join up a lot with Owen. You know, them two are like quite rapid.
Berger was like almost like a false nine, wasn't he?
Yeah, bit like Salah and Manor, them two, Patrick Berger and McManaman.
Yeah.
I think back then they got into it quite a lot, really. So those are the teams, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, we had a really good season, finished really high up. And we started on the right foot right from the beginning, I think. Even some of the games don't cover. The one Gatesy said United was 0-0 game 2. We beat Sheffield Wednesday game 1. Ian Wright scored in his debut, so we started off from the right foot. So you got to hand it to Harry. He's building a really, really good quality team, helped by the Sky money. Doing really good, really. So very early goal in this game. Let's have a look at this. A couple of other quick facts is this is on the back of a 4-3 defeat at Wimbledon, where West Ham United, for the first time
I remember
in 30 years, lost a 3-0 lead after 30
I remember
years.
that game. Oh, that gives me nightmares.
It, but I haven't.
Hartson scored, didn't they?
I
haven't
think it was
gone
2
back.
for Wright and 1 for Hartson, if I remember correctly.
It's like you said. It's like the Liverpool game. I don't go back there. So I don't want to refresh my memory. I don't remember it. I don't want to see the goals. Just the commentator mentions that it's on the back of that, and I think this was one of the big games on Match of the Day. I think it was Mr. Gubber, is it? Tony Gubber, was it?
Oh, Tony Gubber.
Yeah, he was one of them who covered the game.
He was one of the commentators on that Dancing with Ice in the very
was
early
he?
days. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just had a look, Jazz. So yeah, 3-0 up. John Hartson on a double from Ian Wright. And then from the 30th minute, Marcus Gale, Jason Ewell, Marcus Gale again, and FN Okoku with the winner in the 81st minute.
Interesting.
I remember a story involving that game, just to sort of quickly diverge off and just
I'm just going to switch the fan off on me a minute. Yep.
I remember there was a story about Neil Ruddock apparently at full time was on the phone to someone. And while Harry Redknapp was sort of giving his post-match, and bear in mind, this is after a home game where you're 3-0 up against Wimbledon and you've lost it 4-3. And the story goes that Neil Ruddock apparently made a phone call from his mobile phone. I don't know who to. I don't know if it was to his wife or a friend or someone in the media or whatever it was. But apparently he's sort of like, he's trying to be all hush-hush about it. and apparently Redknapp's turned around, caught him, and then started bollocking him. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit!" And he's had to terminate the phone call, bit sharpish. Yeah, but I mean, it's like, what do you expect? It's like the manager's not exactly going to be chuffed to bits. You know, you've just lost a game from 3-0 up at home, and you've turned around and you've seen your centre back on the mobile having a little chat to a pal or something. You're like,
Crazy, isn't
manager's
it?
not exactly
Crazy.
going to go, "Yeah, carry on, Race. Don't worry about it. No problem."
Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous.
Right, the game. Yeah, so the game kicks off Saturday, 3 p.m. on the back of that terrible defeat. But what's good to see is that when you watch this game, you can't even guess that the players are low on confidence. They're shell shocked from the previous game, so it's good to see that Harry has shaken that out of them, and it's a completely clean slate. The first goal, what you notice in this season, particularly this game, and the first goal is that Frank Lampard takes a lot of the corners, and he's very, very, very good at those. I've forgotten how good he was. So after 4 minutes, it's a Lampard corner. And John Hartson, first one, no one really challenges him, and he heads it in. It's deflected off number 23, who I wasn't sure who it was when I looked at. It's Carragher. Okay, it's a very young Jamie Carragher, so it kind of deflects off him and into the net, really. And what you notice is that Johnny Hartson has he's bleached his hair blonde because I think he's
Yeah, I
red
remember
hair.
that.
He's red hair stroke ginger, isn't he? Normally. And yeah, so he kind of heads it in from there. And Brad Friedel was a goalkeeper that I've forgotten about that. So he doesn't look too clever in this game. I think he could have done a little bit better than some of the goals he'd done. So we're 1-0 up anyway after 4 minutes. And again, there's a lesson for us all. Get to the ground early. You know, get on your seats at first minute. Otherwise, you'll miss a goal, really. The other thing was there's a nice interchange between Hartson and Ian Wright to Sinclair, back to Hartson, and he just heads it over. So throughout all the games that I'm covering, at least anyway, the football is really, really high level. All the players are technically gifted and very confident with the ball. And again, Harry's quite clever with his buying, what he used to say, because I don't think Harry's that clever coaching-wise. What he always bought was quality. So in other words, here's the ball, there's the ground, go and do what you need to do, which goes back to what Graham Souness said at Liverpool when I mentioned before. That Graham, what was it like playing for Bob Paisley for Liverpool? What was the coaching like? It must have been unbelievable. What did they tell you? They said no. He said, the first game I played, I asked the manager for instructions, and they said, you don't need instructions. They bought you because you're good. Just go out and then do what you normally do. so that's a
Maybe
kind
that's
of,
what Gareth Southgate should do.
Yeah, let's discuss that at the end. Yeah, I'm in a good mood at the moment. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, Gareth Southgate and the football Harry's playing is night and day. So really enjoying this one-touch football, superb defense splitting passes. That's what football's all about, really. So we go close, so nearly 2-0. And then there's a corner again, and Hartson heads it to Pearce, who, yeah, a bit carelessly blazes over the bar in the box when he could have done better, and his reaction says it all. He holds his head up and knows he should have done better. And then another good old thing is Mr. Paul Ince. He's getting booed again, so we forgot about him. He's playing, so he's getting booed every time he touches the ball. Owen goes close with the volley, and this is what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, this is what I was saying with Owen, how rapid it is. I mean, to be fair, with the three centre-backs, we look in good shape when Liverpool attack. We got it all covered. But even though you could be close to Owen, oh, God, the guy's like lightning, you know? He gets the ball, doesn't care how close you are to him. Bang, that ball goes in like a rocket and just goes over the bar. So that's why I'm like, I don't know who could stop a guy like that. So that just goes over. And we're leading 1-0 up to half-time, so everyone's in good spirits. All waiting for Liverpool to come back like I normally do. So let's see what happens. So, well, we don't have to wait too long again for the second half. 51 minutes, 6 minutes into the second half, we're 2-0 up. And like I was saying last season, it's the same goal scorers, Hartson, and now it's Berkovic. So Johnny Moncur, I don't think Moncur played that often together with Berkovic. Perhaps perhaps Harry thinking they're too similar, but they
I
look
know
good.
there was one game that they played together because I was there at Stamford Bridge. I think it was the season before, and we lost 2-1, and Moncur and Berkovic had a little bit of a set to on the pitch right in front of where I was sat. This was before John Hartson wrapped a boot round his head as well, so I'm not too sure that Eyal Berkovic was exactly well liked by his teammates. I could be wrong.
I think because he's so good, he's quite arrogant and cocky about it, perhaps. That why didn't he give me the ball? Because he can't do nothing wrong. That kind of person, I think. But yeah, I'm just guessing. I don't really know. But
possible.
What you might not recognise about him is how he looks now. He's completely got no hair, so he might be difficult to recognise him. Yeah, he came.
And he's got a bit of timber, isn't he? He's got a bit of timber.
I've seen more hair on a snooker ball.
Yeah, it's very bit like Willie Fawn, shiny forehead and everything. Yeah. Anyway, so John Moncur finds Berkovic, and this is the scenario in a lot of my games. There's like 10 interchange, 1 touch before goals scored. Moncur to Berkovic to Hartson, Hartson back to Berkovic. Berkovic is now on the edge of the area, and he shoots for goal, and it goes past Brad Friedel again. Like I felt he could have done a bit better. It kind of goes through him. And it's 2-0. And I like people that are not only creating goals, they're not scared to shoot. People like Sinclair, people like Berkovic, they're chipping in with nearly double digits, which I like to see, which goes back to hopefully Fornells can improve on that area and have the confidence to score more than he can. I think I like people who've got a bit of everything in their game, really. Another thing you notice, obviously, with Harry, our manager, Jamie is playing for Liverpool, his son. So I wonder how that was going to go. But Jamie's okay. He's a neat and tidy player, keeps hold of possession, keeps it ticking. So another thing I noticed is Berkovic again, who set so many goals up. He passes to Ruddock, who, don't forget, has got point to prove against his old team. So Berkovic finds Ruddock, who is left-footed, the commentator says, predominantly, and he goes close with a really good volley just over the bar, and he has a bit of a chuckle to himself because I think we're getting towards the latter end of the game, and we're 2-0 up, so it looks like hopefully we've got 3 points. But it's a never easy ride as a West Ham fan. We're always going to make it a little bit nervy. And 88 minutes gone, and Mr. Jason McAteer from the right side crosses to Karl-Heinz Riedler, a big name from Germany. And he scores with a header to make it 2-1. So with 88 minutes gone, and I don't know how many minutes they used to add back then. Certainly in a modern game, that's still a good 7 minutes, isn't it? And if it's Liverpool, they'll probably add another, say, make it 6. So really squeaky bum time. But it's 2-1. And what the commentator says that he makes up for an earlier shot that he hit the post with. So this time he connects, and we kind of hold on and win 2-1, which is the same score as the season before. So under Harry, we're winning the big games. We're draw with United, we're beating Spurs nearly every season, we're beating Liverpool. So it's a good thing what Harry's doing. We're getting some of our respect back. We're not involved in any relegation fights anymore, and we're fairly cemented our place in this new Premier League, really. And really good atmosphere in a lot of these games. What Gatesy probably know better than me, but yeah, really good win. And Liverpool were obviously by no means easy, but brilliant, really, really good. So 2-1 win.
Good selection. I think a victory over the Merseysiders at home is always going to be a good selection, in my opinion. Thank you for that, Mr. Jazz.
Thank you. And that all goes to the London fans who probably went in at our end or their end to watch the bloody game. But there you go.
Yeah.
And any result over the job seekers is a result.
Well, I've got a tough act to follow then, haven't I, chaps? I better have chosen well. Okay,
so.
I'll get.
I'm just moving to the other area of my house, Gatesy, so I am listening.
You're off to the garage, are you?
Yeah.
The shed.
I'll be back in 1 minute.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my choice. I'll just go full screen with it. This is a 5-goal thriller on the 14th of November, 1998. I'll just zoom in a little bit. There you go. for your examination, and I'll just shut that banner off so you can see what's at the bottom. There you go. I'm nice like that to you, ladies and gentlemen. Mark's just sort of popped in. Yeah, Liverpool away. That was also. You never know, Mark. That might be one of the games that's covered. I can't possibly comment. Anyway, so here we go. So this is the home victory, a 5-goal thriller, ladies and gentlemen, against Leicester City. Now, the last game of the previous season, I actually covered this in my 3 matches. That game ended in a 4-3. So in 2 consecutive seasons, home games, we've had some real ding-dongs against Leicester City. The previous game, we won by the odd goal in 7. This one, we win by the odd goal in 5. So looking at the West Ham lineup, and I think, who is it? Someone mentioned about in one of the previous matches, I don't know if it was you, Miles, it might have been Jazz, about the lineup looking very English. Well, here's a little thing for you. Shaka Hislop, although he's down as Trinidad and Tobago, he was around this time in a few England squads. In fact, I think I was there at Wembley for one of the games. I don't know if it was, I think it was Chile. He was on the bench. I'm sure it was Chile. It might have been Cameroon. But I remember going to a game at Wembley Stadium just before the World Cup in '98, and he was one of the goalkeepers for England. He never got a cap, and he later obviously played in a World Cup match against England for Trinidad and Tobago. But he was actually born in Hackney. So there you go. He was actually English by birth. But there you go.
Oh.
Now, this was one of the few games. In fact, I think, let me just check. Yeah, Julian Dix played 9 matches in this season because he was obviously, he had the really bad knee injury. So, but this was one of the few games that he played in this season. So Julian Dix there making a rare appearance alongside Rio Ferdinand, Ian Pearce as the back 3. Then you had Mark Eyal Berkovic, the little Israeli magician, conducting the orchestra. Mark Keller, who played on the left wing predominantly. I thought he was a cracking player personally. Frank Lampard, who again is really starting to make some strides in Premier League football. Steve Lomas, he probably, I don't think he was the captain in this particular match because again, Julian Dix was there. So I would have thought that Julian Dix had the armband here. Trevor Sinclair, Paul Kitson and Ian Wright to make up the 11 for West Ham. And then we move over to Leicester City, the USA international, Casey Keller in goal, Rob Ullathorne, Matt Elliott, Frank Sinclair, formerly of Chelsea, Steve Walsh, Steve Guppy, Neil Lennon, the former Celtic manager, 2-time Celtic manager. Muzzy is it, Turkish international, but a West Ham fan.
West Ham fan,
yes, massive West Ham fan. Gary Parker, former Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
If you remember, he was one of the guys that got a bit of a meaty challenge from Gaza in the FA Cup final when he did his knee in. Robbie Savage, who's now a commentator or a pundit for the BBC, and Graham Fenton. Yeah, he didn't really have a fantastic career, didn't exactly score a bucket load of goals, but there he is, Graham Fenton. I think he might have been at was he at Villa at one point? Is my memory playing tricks on me?
Well, I'm sorry, the viewers are
feeling he might have been Villa player as well.
And we can't make the story any more interesting by saying he's Ted Fenton's son. We can't say that, everyone.
No,
there's no connection.
I don't believe he's anything to do with Ted Fenton, the former West Ham United manager of the 50s and early 60s. So,
he's back.
Okay.
Trouble's back.
Look at this bar. Honestly, I tell you what, we're going to have to get ourselves down there, boys. I'm telling you. Anyway, so
I'm multitasking.
Oh, by the way, I forgot.
Lovely. Look at that. Brilliant.
That's the program from the Liverpool match.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only got 5 or 6 from this season, so
love it. I love a program.
My collection's nearly there, everyone. It's getting there. I'm filling the gaps. Not many left now. Nearly there, mate. Yeah, this guy came over last week, bought the whole box. But sorry, go ahead, Gatesy.
And for the Leicester game, That's the program for my game.
Get
So,
off, Lomas is telling him. Get off.
Waiting very, very patiently, like a caged tiger that's about to be unleashed. There
Is Zippy
is.
and George?
I couldn't possibly comment, Mr. Miles. No. I've got the Audi Martin Tyler waiting in the wings for West Ham United 3, Leicester City 2. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. So Berkovic with the ball, plays it through. Sinclair plays the ball across the penalty box, but no one in a claret and blue shirt can take advantage. Elliott, Ullathorne, back to Elliott, but it's picked up by Sinclair on West Ham's right. Plays a ball forward to Ian Wright, who plays a lovely little nutmeg past Steve Walsh, and he's through on goal. Ian Wright, and I think that Frank Sinclair just did enough to put him off. So Ullathorne, is it strategy against the run of play? You've got to say, 26 minutes in, Leicester find themselves a goal up. Julian Dix was slightly wrong-footed there when the ball was played through to Izzet, and it gave him enough time and space to get his shot away and put Leicester 1-0 up. Sinclair, Wright, Berkovic, Sinclair, Berkovic. Wright gets the ball, plays it, and Kitson 1-1. Got the merest of touches from a ball that looped up just on the penalty spot. He made the contact. Lomas on the right-hand side for West Ham. Back to Frank Lampard. Swings the ball in, but the ball is cleared for a West Ham United corner. So Ian Wright, Steve Lomas. Ball comes in, and the header from Mark Keller just past Casey Keller's right-hand post. Dix with the throw. Ian Wright plays it through. Mark Keller, left foot cross, and the ball's been cleared for another West Ham corner. And they're coming again. Lomas with the strike. Deflection, goal! West Ham 2, Leicester City 1. Fire a deflection. The drive from Steve Lomas was on target, but I think Casey covered until it got the deflection just there, which wrong-footed him and went into his bottom left-hand corner. West Ham 2-1 up. And West Ham still pressing. Ball comes to Lomas with the strike. And Ian Wright on the... Oh, he's just put it wide. Normally, he buries those. Berkovic curls it in. And the header from Paul Kitson just past the post. And West Ham are really turning up the heat here. Lampard with the ball. Sinclair. Oh, just past the post. Berkovic with the free kick. Lays it off to Frank Lampard with the strike. 3-1, West Ham. I don't know if that got another deflection on its way. Casey Keller seemed to be wrong-footed by the strike from Frank Lampard. But Frank Lampard will claim it. Here's the drive. I think, yes, it just got a deflection on its way. And Casey Keller could do nothing. West Ham 3, Leicester 1. Steve Lomas on the right-hand side. He cuts it back. Ian Wright. And it's, deflection. And Casey Keller made the save this time. Corner to Leicester City. And it's in off of Frank Lampard. 3-2. Is there time for a comeback for Leicester City? Final score here at Upton Park. West Ham United 3, Leicester City 2.
Did you go to that game, Gatesy?
Interesting.
You're mute, there he is.
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, no, I was there. It was again. This was 2 consecutive seasons that we had some real sort of arm wrestles with Leicester. I mean, to be fair, you look at the game and it was like we had an awful lot of chances, but we only won it by the 1 goal. it could have gone so horribly wrong. We could have dropped 2 points, or maybe not even got a point if maybe things had gone a slightly different way.
Was that Martin O'Neill, the manager, then?
Yes, Martin O'Neill was the manager at that point. Yes, he was. I think it was another year or two before he went to Celtic.
I wanted him as West Ham manager when we had the
we
chance.
were so close, and Sullivan.
That was around Avram Grant time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Avram Grant. He was bang on. He said, "Gentlemen's
it was around
agreement,"
Christmas
but
time,
then
wasn't
Sullivan,
it? I think it was. He started winning games, Avram Grant, around that time, which caused a little bit of a problem because it's like you're about to pull the trigger on a manager, and all of a sudden he starts winning a couple of games here and there. But
no, I think someone within the club went to the press before it was. Martin said, "I want it done a certain way," and he said, and Martin's right. He's probably a gentleman the way he runs. He goes, I don't want to work for you, mate.
There's a way of doing things, isn't there? You know what I mean? You know, if there's a manager in harness, I suppose you don't want to sort of appear that you've done the dirty on that particular manager because at the end of the day, what goes around comes around. So there you go.
What he done at Villa was ridiculous with that team. Like during that time when he had
two consecutive sixth place finishes, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think,
and then they got rid of him. I don't think they've been anywhere near since. In fact, they've suffered a relegation since then. So
yeah.
You know, but I don't think he's doing anything now. Certainly not as far as
he was Ireland manager for a bit, wasn't he? And then he gave that up.
Yeah, I think he's a good pundit.
I think he's run his race.
Yeah, he's at the World Cup as a pundit. I think he's all right. A lot of people have strong opinions. He ain't gonna hold back. I like him, and he's all right.
Yeah, I think probably his time has passed now, though. So, I mean, he's probably late 60s now. I don't know. So,
don't forget he managed Ireland for ages, isn't he, as well, with Roy Keane? So
yeah. So that was my choice number one. So we come back to you, Mr. Jazz. Your choice number two, my friend.
Me.
Hang on. Sorry. I'm getting confused. Listen, it's because you two look so bloody similar. I can't tell you apart.
I know. Jazz is the younger looking one, isn't he? The younger one out of the Chuckle Brothers.
Sorry, Milesy. I do apologise. Milesy, choice number 2 of 3. To you, to me, to me, to you.
Sorry, Gatesy, I was moving. I remember someone mentioned the reverse fixture of Liverpool away.
I can't remember who it was. Mark. I think it was Mark. Let me just scroll back. Where is it? It must have been a bit. Hang on. No, I'm sure it wasn't as far back as that, was it?
It was when Jazz done his.
Yes, no, it was hidden in plain sight.
Yeah. So good news, Mark. That's the game I'm covering. So as we know, apart from the Jazz was very fortunate to go there. I can't remember the last time before then we've even got a result at Anfield, to be honest. We're a little bit better over the last previous years, but it's normally more of a how many, isn't it, chaps, really, when we go to Anfield?
That reminds me, I have to send you the video of that Saka goal. Let me put it down. Forgot. Yeah, I'll send you that. Yeah.
So there's not really many changes really from the Liverpool side. What they put out against you, Jazz, was it really? If you look, really.
No. So you got.
There's only a couple changes, probably.
Goalkeeper's different, isn't it? Brad Fudel's gone. David James is there. Bjornby's another new one. Hagen was there. Song. That's actually has changed quite a bit. Song wasn't there. James wasn't there. Bjornby wasn't there.
Yeah.
Apart from that, and then Robbie Fowler's obviously got 2 up front. So, if anything, that team is much stronger than the one I covered. I think. Yeah.
That English people at the bottom, obviously, I know they might not be at their peak then, but that's just ridiculous, isn't it, gents? Well, including David James, Carragher, McManaman, Redknapp, Fowler, and Owen, all in the England squad, aren't they? So it's ridiculous, isn't it? It is ridiculous. But so West Ham lined up with Chaka in goal, Mr. Potts, Rio, Ian Pearce, Scott Minto, Earl Berkovic, Joe Cole, the great, God rest his soul, Mark Vivian Foe, Frank Lampard, Steve Lomas, and Trevor Sinclair. So, gents, the reason why I've picked this game is, as you can see, we've got no centre forward in the start 11.
I was thinking of that.
Harry
Yeah.
Redknapp was playing a false nine before anybody knew what a false nine was.
Yeah.
Harry
Yeah.
saw the dollar signs with Hudson and just sold him without thinking of anything.
I think
Bloody hell.
Sinclair was the striker in essence.
But yeah, no. So this game, I mentioned it last week, gents, and sorry if I'm boring everyone who was here last week as well. So growing up, this was on VHS. I had these as a collection. So when I was about 10 or 11, so probably 2001, 2002, that's when I started watching these on VHS. And these games just spring to mind, like even now. So 20 years on. And I just remember this game. And I'll show you I'll mention the person at the end, but I know Duke's mentioned it as well. But on the season review, the interview, what was done with a particular player, but I'll cover that at the end. It was just a nice touch, and another youngster also come on, and the headlines would have been a lot different. But yeah, I'm very fortunate to have remember this game, because a lot of the younger generation won't, unless that's the reason why we do these shows. But when I picked this game, we didn't get off to the best of starts. I mentioned the 5 English, and that they were heavily involved in this first goal. So McManaman driving with the ball, plays the ball out to the left, and then the ball come back to Jamie Redknapp. Don't know why, but he always seems to have a good game against us, doesn't he, Jamie Redknapp? Obviously because of his dad as well. I think he wants to make a point and stuff like that. But yeah, heavily involved. A great ball to the back post. Scott Minto, he done well. He probably tried to hick it away with his right foot, but that come back to Costa. The ball was loose, and then a back heel to Robbie Fowler. And when Robbie Fowler gets on his left foot, there's only one outcome, straight in the roof of the net, 1-0. Moving on into still in the first half, Steve Lomas didn't realise how much of a long throw he actually had, gents. I know he had a long throw, but this one was literally went past the penalty spot, this throw-in. It's ridiculous, really.
Oh,
and
he could hurl the ball for, ridiculous.
Yeah, so so he a long throw in the box. The ball would eventually come to Scott Minto. Took a heavy touch. I think it's Staunton who was the one with the challenge. He looked quite gingery blonde, and so I'm guessing it's him who completely takes him out, and we get a penalty. And over the years, what was it?
A penalty at Anfield to the away team.
I know.
Really?
I was surprised. I was surprised as well, gents. So,
oh my god!
And the best bit about it, what I love, is Lampard's confidence. I mentioned it last week. He was my hammer of the year, and he just has no fear.
Exactly.
Steps it up straight in the top left-hand corner. David James goes the right way, but nowhere near it. 1-1, gents. 1-1 at Anfield. Can you believe it?
Boom.
Gatesy, you know better than me. Was he getting flack during the season, Lampard, or was that in the past, or was it?
I think it's the next one. I think it's the next one.
There were still people that would have had their opinions of his reasons for getting the break, for being in the team. There would have still been people that had that opinion. But I think that all the time that he was going out there and scoring goals and putting performances in, it kind of put a bit of a lid on it.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not saying he would have become the player what he would have if he didn't move from us, but it's just such a shame. It's not just him; it's other players who have gone on to better themselves. If only Harry stayed a little bit longer, I think we would have been right up there, in my opinion, with all them youngsters. But we'll save that for another day. This will make Jazz. Did you watch the season review for this season, or did you just pick them?
I just picked them.
Oh, you did. This will make you laugh. Yeah. So, I've obviously got all the copies from Cross Hammers, so I was watching them, and watching the season review. I can't remember where it was, Sunday night or whatever it was. Sitting there watching this game, and all of a sudden it goes to the Tottenham game away. halfway through the game, and all you hear is like cheering, and it's like, what are they cheering? And it was for the Liverpool goal, and I was like, is my fucking DVD fucked? It's not. I watched the Robert Banks version on YouTube. Does exactly the same thing on the season review. It just skip. So you actually miss Michael Owen's goal. So I was like, oh, for God's sake, what am I going to do now? So I managed to go on YouTube, and it's some American goal just to see the goal. What Owen scored.
Yeah.
So.
I think they're on video what I've got, but when we get to 0203, then my DVD collection comes into play, and that's when I'll probably stick them on. Yeah.
No, I understand. But yeah, no. So as I said, I managed to get the goal, and it's a very poor goal, to be honest, gents. McManaman had the ball, eventually gave it to Owen. Owen, you don't really see him get many goals outside the box, and unfortunately, this goal goes to him. He hit a shot from outside the box. Biggest deflection, but Hislop's already sold himself. And two on the 45th minute, just before half time, 2-1 down, and I can imagine the away fans probably thinking, "Oh, this is we were level for some time. We should probably take that as an advantage." And then Harry himself, with a bit of genius with the substitutes on this day. The first one was Mark Keller coming on for Joe Cole, and you are probably going to know this or remember it, but as soon as I mention it, Mark Keller was involved from a corner, right in the left-hand side, whipped the ball in with his right foot, went straight through David James's legs from a direct corner. Everyone missed the ball.
Calamity James.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And he can't. The West Ham fans were going mad. 2-2. You're probably thinking Liverpool were going to come back to haunt us, but they didn't really have anything after that, gents. And then a certain, sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but that's the way it says it because there's no commentary. Hooligan comes on. Is it Hooligan?
Holigan.
Holigan. Okay. Yeah. I'll call him a hooligan.
Maybe he was a hooligan. I don't know.
Anyway, he come on the pitch, a youngster wearing a number 40 on the back of his shirt with 10 minutes to go. The magic man, Isle Berkovic, like you said, he just looked so rapid when he was running with the ball. Started driving. He plays a through ball to him. Through ball, one-on-one. All he had to do was square it to Sinclair. He was open in the penalty box. He chose to go for goal himself. To be fair, it was a good shot, but a good save from David James, and you can imagine that, gents. 88th minute at the Cop end, not at the Cop end, sorry. 88th minute, one-on-one with the keeper. He obviously went for the naming lights, and unfortunately didn't get it. But we go away with a 2-2 draw at Anfield.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Is there someone else that you wanted to mention, Mr. Miles?
Yeah, it is. So
game.
Yeah, so before the game, I'm gutted Duke's missing it because he probably's got a bit more stories to it. On the season review, a certain person with a bit shorter hair than what he has now was doing an interview on the season review talking about how he signed for West Ham, which was a nice touch. And that is a certain Mr. Jimmy Bullard. And
this fella.
Look at him there. Look. Oh, what is he gone?
No, what did he say then? The story behind.
So he mentioned he had some rumours that people were coming to look at him for his trial games, but he never knew anything about West Ham, and apparently we were the ones who turned up really late on, and he didn't know. He said he was a West Ham through and through. Come down for a week's trial, and he said and it went from there, but. I'm just gutted he didn't make an appearance for us because he's a West Ham boy through and through. And I just love him. And I don't know whether you saw, gents, I don't know how fluent you watch Soccer I Am, but about a month before the end of the season, Chrissy Coleman was on there. And they were talking about their days at Fulham and what Jimmy Bullard said, if it wasn't for Chris Coleman. I honestly think if he was given that chance, he probably would have been like a Mark Noble. I think he would have stayed. He probably knew he wasn't the best player on the pitch, but I think he would have offered us something different. I don't know about you.
It's destiny, innit, mate? It's destiny, you know. You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, a similar story, Gatesy, you know, Ray Houghton, very similar story.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever played
he
a
played
game.
1 or 2 games for us.
Yeah, and then my
I
dad
think he
used to
played
say,
1 or
listen,
2 games in the League Cup, maybe.
and it's
Yeah.
Kirbishley as well. Kirbishley's podcast. He goes, I didn't want to leave. He goes, I was a non-patient, cocky teenager who, if I waited a little bit longer, I would have got in at West Ham. But it's destiny. You don't know how you feel at that time. And he
He
left
could have won the
in
FA Cup. Who knows?
He left in because he was I mean, when you're young, your blood's a bit you do all kinds of things and my dad said, listen, when you've got look around midfield around that time, Devonshire, Brooking, Pike, you know, then Wardy after that, and it's hard to get in, but when it's always going to be a few that go through the net. It's just
I'm just really gutted for Jimmy because I think he would have fitted in well with that dressing room. Do you know what I mean? I know he was a bit of a youngster. Yeah, like he's a great thing, but like you said, I've not met him yet, but I would love to speak to him and just.
I think I've told you because Jimmy Bullard was my younger brother's best mate at primary school. They both went to Gravel Hill Primary School in Bexley Heath, and they were as thick as thieves, my brother Sam and Jimmy, at one point. And he was nuts even back then. I think he was probably about 9 years of age or thereabouts when my brother and he first, were pals. And he is what you see is what you get. He is an absolute, character. He's a lovely lad. And the last time I saw him was before I went on my lads' holiday that I spoke about last week when I went to Gran Canaria. And that was the last time that I saw him face to face. And it was in Bexley Heath Broadway. And he was actually, at the time, I think he was on the books of Ebbsfleet. And he was working as a painter and decorator. Just stop and think about that. He was working as a painter and decorator at Ebbsfleet United. I think he'd also been at Dartford, my local club. And then 5 minutes later, or a year later, really, but he's on the books of the club that he supported as a boy. I remember, like I say again, I remember when my brother and he were pals, and he was a massive West Ham fan. That's not a sort of load of old bollocks that he's spinning. He is a West Ham fan. I can tell you that straight. He went from being a painter and decorator to being a Premier League footballer who got a call up for England at one point. He didn't get a cap, but he got called up to an England squad. I remember that, and that it would have been quite nice if he could have got even if he'd just come on for a minute in a friendly. I think that would have been quite nice to get a cap. For a guy that sort of like in his early 20s was painting walls and putting up wallpaper.
Yeah, you got
nice
that Vinnie
story.
Jones. Yeah, Vinnie Jones, hood carrier. You got Parksy, the carpenter. You got all these different people, different trades. You've got Chris Waddle, worked in a sausage factory, Newcastle.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, all these different things that people did, isn't it? You don't know.
Yeah.
I've got a picture
Good
with
choice,
Jimmy
Milesy.
Bullard. Yeah, I've got a picture
mate.
with Bullard in the Anne Boleyn pub with my cousin. That's one of the things of the modern phones. There's so many photos we take. I forget where I save them, what album I went to. But again, down to earth guy.
The modern equivalent of an autograph, isn't it?
But you've got to get into the habit of creating albums, so at least you can find them. Otherwise, you haven't got a chance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jazz, over to you, sir. Choice number 2 of 3.
Yeah, so after the Liverpool win, we've now a little bit forward, and we're looking at, what's the date? November the 28th, 1998. Dermot Gallagher's the referee. It's West Ham United against Spurs. London derby against our enemies. Yeah.
Stop it, Jazz.
Can I just point something out? My wife picked up on this, and she turned around and said, "Why is it you guys always pick victories against Spurs?" Yeah, it didn't even deserve a reply, quite frankly.
So
Anyway.
so when they do their when a Spurs channel comes up with copies our idea, Gatesy, they will I'm guessing they'll pick the victories against us, won't they?
There ain't many of them.
Exactly.
Apart from the two silly boys, yeah, two silly brothers, whatever they are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Jazz,
Peaches in the building. Peaches in the building. Rah rah
And
rah.
if
Rah
I
rah
may, for
rah.
any of you guys watching this either live or at your own leisure, do us a favour. Go to YouTube, put in the search bar West Ham Random, and give them a subscribe. Share the love,
Yeah.
my friend. Share the love.
Yeah. Great show. Great bunch of
Do I know about them?
Absolutely.
Doesn't ring a bell. Do I know about them, Gatesy? West Ham
What's that?
Random. Do I? West Ham
Yeah,
Random.
it's Peach. It's Peach.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Peach and Frankel. So, anyway, we digress. So, West Ham 2, Tottenham 1. Talk to me, Jazz.
West Ham United 2, Tottenham 1. The lineups, we got Shaka Hislop in goal. Again, it's a wing-back system. But the back three look a little bit better because Rio's in there now. So you got Rio, Ruddock, and Ian Pearce, the back three. Midfield, Berkovic, Sinclair, Lomas, Lampard, Skippy. I'm very happy when Steve Lomas is in there. Looks better. Looks balanced. Up front, again, you got the magic pair, Hartson and Kitson. So perhaps Ian Wright has picked up a knock because he's getting towards the end of his career. Spurs are playing 3-4-3 system, looks like. So they got Espen Bardson from Norway in goal, and I thought he had a pretty average game. Luke Young.
Is that Charlton's Luke Young?
Yeah,
That's
I think
the
so.
one. That's him.
Sorry, I remember when we were linked with him when he was at Charlton, and he ended up being a flop and went to Middlesbrough, didn't he? He didn't really do much after that Charlton, did he?
He reminds
Did he
me
go
of
to
Scott
Borough?
Minto a bit.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
The same. Yeah. Stephen Carr, Sol Campbell. I like Sol Campbell. Good player. Midfield, Andy Sinton from Brentford, Alan Nielsen, Denmark, Stephen Clements, Darren Anderton up front, Stefan Iversen, Norway. So they've got 2 Norwegians, 1 Danish. Wow. And Chris Armstrong from Palace up front, who had a lot of off the sort of issues sort of away from the game, what he used to get up to in the evenings. And David Ginola.
I don't know what you mean, Jazz. I don't know what you mean.
He's a West Ham type of player. West Ham type player.
No, Armstrong I'm talking about. I don't know what you mean.
He just got fined for being out too late, clubbing, missing games, failing drugs tests. So maybe at Palace he wasn't earning much. Then Tottenham came in with
allegedly failing drugs tests.
Yeah, before we get sued.
We don't want to get sued. Allegedly, in my opinion.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris, if you're watching.
Sorry, Chris, I don't want to jeopardize your political career. Sorry about that. So that's the lineups. Again, they're up there with us in the top half of the season. Again, it's a 3:00 kickoff. So again, the cameras have stayed away from a big game at West Ham. I don't know why they're doing that, but who cares anyway? So the commentator says Spurs are in for a torrid time because they're missing 2-3 defenders, Vega, Scales, and Collingwood, I think the name is. So 3 defenders they're missing.
And the Swiss Tony Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually still looks pretty healthy, pretty fit. I think there's an interview a couple of weeks ago. He's doing stuff with perhaps the Swiss FA or FIFA. So he's doing all right. Yeah, still passionately Spurs, to be honest. And but what I like about him, he's still pretty. He's given the club some stick for not winning anything still, so that's good for him. So anyway, 30 seconds have gone, ladies and gentlemen, when Isle Berkovic finds Johnny Hartson after a nice opening exchange, and Hartson goes close. So 30 seconds. So them two connect very early on, and they seem to have some kind of connection now. So the team's doing really well. We'll go into that in the future, but what you'll find is Berkovic's appearances for West Ham. There's only 65 times he played for West Ham in league. It's a pretty small. It's happening a lot when we come to the players are just not sticking around anymore. You know, that's another big change with the money, perhaps. You're lucky if you get 2 seasons out of the players now. That's another thing that you're gonna see. Right, Sinclair. The only mistake I saw him make in all the games I was covering, he just loses the ball in possession to David Ginola, and he takes a shot on goal, and he just misses the right side of the corner, and he kind of holds his head. He thinks that's a good chance, so that's the first good chance, I think. And what you notice in the dugout, you've got George Graham and Chris Hughton together for Spurs. So Spurs does a Harry. He leaves Arsenal, goes Spurs, and I think you shouldn't really perhaps do that kind of thing. Because when you think about it, and I think it's true, if Arsenal ever had I'm not sure, but Harry and Mourinho and George Graham, I don't think they'll ever be invited back to the old clubs, even Paul Allen at a lesser scale. They're just forgotten about, despite what Mourinho did at Chelsea, Campbell at Arsenal, George Graham at Arsenal. It's pretty... I might be wrong, even Sol Campbell and Ashley, they cannot go back to their old clubs. They're not spoken about. There's nothing written about them, nothing spoken about. No, so that's where the West Ham old guard, John Lyle, they're welcomed with so much love and so many anniversaries like Dixon, Cotty, and you see what I mean? The difference, isn't it? I mean, money's money, but it can't buy you love, can it? You know, and perhaps when they get to the ripe old age and they're probably thinking, oh, I can't really go back to that club, can I? They don't want me there, or whatever they did. So just one thing I thought about, really. So anyway, so we win the ball back halfway through this sort of the half. So 39 minutes gone. We lose the ball. We win it back because Ruddock lost it. And then David Ginola loses it to Lomas. Goes back to Sinclair. He finds Berkovic. He finds Sinclair. Then Sinclair on the edge of the area finds Kitson. Kitson runs away from the goal in the penalty area. And then he crosses it back in. And Lampard, the arriving Lampard, has a really good shot, which he's going to make his name this season. And the shot is parried by the Norwegian goalkeeper, who I didn't think was that good. So he saves it, but he should have got hold of it. He loses it. And it falls to Trevor Sinclair. And he kind of just chips it over the goalkeeper, really scoops the ball into the net, really. And we're 1-0 up after 39 minutes. So, like you said, Sinclair was played up front, and it looks like he can play the role.
Light round of applause, as I remember. We just gave a round of applause, Jazz. We didn't go over the top.
Why was that?
No, I'm only joking. Of course we did. We went absolutely crackers, mate.
Hot dogs went flying, onions went in someone else's face. Love it. Brilliant. And that stayed the same till half time. So everyone enjoyed half time, really. So that was a bit of a late goal, second half. But again, I keep saying you've got to be in your seats for the games I cover. 46 minutes, 60 seconds since the second half. And what you notice, again, what I said earlier on about Trevor's, it's the movement. You know, not like Haller, I'm going to stay here, get it to me, or I don't like the system. He's everywhere. Berkovic is flying left, right, middle. If Hartson was kind of, obviously, in this game, all over the place, you just look at the movement and look at the options Berkovic has got with people moving. They're actually moving, which is you've got 2 legs. It's a physical, it's a sport. So move. Forget the formation. Just make yourself available and go back to what McAvenny said is gamble. Even if the ball is not there, it's going to get there. It's all in the mind of a good player. You know, people like Ian Wright, they gamble. And when we look back, we think, oh, he was goal hanging, or he just tapped it in, but you missed the movement when the ball wasn't there. It's anticipation, it's all in there. Separates the brilliant players from the normal ones, really. And it's Sinclair. So let me start from the beginning because I got all excited then. So Hartson finds Kitson on the halfway line, 46 minutes gone. Then he loses it, wins the ball back, passes to Sinclair. And I remember now. Okay, let me start off with that. So, John Hartson finds Kitson, who's not even on the halfway line. He loses the ball to a Spurs defender, but then it kind of ricochets back to him. And Sinclair, you can see Sinclair's making a movement up front on his own between two Spurs defenders. And Kitson finds him, and he's only halfway through his own area. He's running towards the penalty area. But the way he anticipates the pass, and it's a good pass, and the pace, he's literally sandwiched between two Spurs defenders running towards the penalty area and the on-rushing goalkeeper. And with the outside of his right foot, he curls the ball into the top left-hand corner, and it's a fantastic finish, Brilliant finish. Crowd erupts, and it's class all round. Kitson with the way he won it. He anticipated the movement, and it's a great ball, and there's none of this kind of falling over that we keep seeing with the. That's what I feel. How many times do players keep falling over in the matches we're seeing last 4 or 5 years? It's numerous times, is it? And I blame the football boots.
I think they've been on the run.
It's the football boots. When my kids go and buy boots and I look at them, I go, these look like slippers. There's no protection for the players. Okay, they're light because you just want to run fast. But in my day, they're all black, mainly black-coloured boots, like the old Puma Dalglish and Adidas, all them lot. If you got hit on the ankle, you had protection. These were solid boots. But now they're like flip-flops. They're funky colours. The studs are not even what I used to play with. They're just, I don't know if it's that, but
I turned around to my kids a long time ago and said, if ever you get a pair of coloured boots, you better make sure that you are excellent in your play and you stand out, because if you don't, then you just look like an absolute cock wandering around the pitch with a pair of bright, luminous orange boots. Seriously.
Well, they won't, because everyone will have it. So you don't know now, do you? Everyone's kind of the same. That's just the way they do it. I don't agree with it. But what I certainly don't, which is interesting, you don't find players slipping back then, Gatesy and Marzi. When you put people through, they're there. They're comfortable. They anticipate. They got a good shot on them. They hit the target. And half the time, not mentioning any names, players slip at the wrong time, and it's just not there, really. So, great finish. 2-0 Sinclair. He's got, much of the second half to get a hat-trick. And if you score a hat-trick at Spurs, wow, you're a legend, really. So after that, what the commentator says is after we go 2-0 up, we kind of put our foot off the gas, so to speak. And Spurs, apparently, have got 70-80% possession after that. It's all Spurs. Ginola puts Armstrong through, and he just misses the right post. And then I think it's around the let me see the time of the minute. So 72 minutes. Spurs are back in there. So David Ginola corner. Armstrong. He gets in between a West Ham defender. I'm not sure who it is. Is it Rio? I'm not sure, but he gets in front of the defender, heads it in. Because I think we're busy. The commentator says we're just busy focusing on Sol Campbell at the corner. Armstrong gets in there. It's 2-1 with 28 minutes to go. Ian Pearce finds Sinclair. So nothing happens apart from the last minute, and you got to watch this. Ian Pearce finds the advancing Trevor Sinclair towards our penalty area, and it's a fantastic shot, great volley, which when you look at it in slow motion, it kind of hits the top of the bar. So it would have been a very late third and hat-trick goal for Sinclair. So we hold on, and we win sort of 2-1, really. So that's 2 games against Liverpool and Spurs where we've held on. So nice story there. And nearly an even bigger story if Sinclair had gone in. I don't know if Gatesy was at that game. Was he sitting at that particular end behind the goal when he would have seen that Sinclair shot? I don't know. But good win and good memories.
Oh, I was there, mate. I was there for this one. I was there for every home game this season. So, yeah. It was a good season, but yeah, fantastic. A home win against the old enemy. So
did you ever take any pictures? Because the phones that back then didn't have cameras on them.
No. Back then, kids, we didn't have camera phones. So if you didn't have the old Kodak or whatever it was
SLR,
at the time,
you point and shoot.
You'd lose it in the pub, wouldn't you, Gatesy?
Yeah. So just didn't tend to happen so much. But okay, so it's now back on me, I guess. Well, cast your mind back, if you will, any of you, those that are old enough, to the 13th of March, 1999. Not a date in history that particularly resonates with most people. However, if you are a West Ham fan, it may well do, because on that particular day, ladies and gentlemen, we rocked up at Stamford Bridge, a Chelsea team stocked to the gunnels with international talent. And we took 3 points off of them, ladies and gentlemen, which was no mean feat, I think it's fair to say. So let's just look at the starting lineup. So for Chelsea in goal,
Only
they had
three
the Dutch-
English. Only three English.
Yeah.
That's mad.
So they had the Dutch goalkeeper Ed de Hoy, who was, whether he was their number one at this point, he was certainly one of their goalkeepers, because around this time they also had a certain guy by the name of Edwin van der Sar, who later gained a little bit of notoriety at Manchester United when they won the Champions League. But Ed de Hoy was the Chelsea goalkeeper at this time. They had a fullback by the name of Albert Ferrer from Spain. Marcel Desailly, the French unit at the back. You know, he could play as a defender, he could play as a midfielder. He was very, very
World Cup
versatile.
winner.
World Cup winner, European Cup winner, European champion.
They're teams like a
Championship
fancy
winner,
football
Serie
team
A
when you're
winner.
a kid.
The list
buying
goes on
players.
and on and on.
Yeah,
nuts.
they're like a fancy football, aren't
They
they?
also
You're
had
not
Graham.
buying anyone.
They also had Graham
Yeah.
Lasso.
Yeah.
They
Who
had
cost
Graham Lasso at
a
left
lot
back.
of money from Blackburn, I think. Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Sorry, Gates. The name. What ring? I know all these players, but look at the bottom one on the subs bench. That's amazing that he was playing then.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
for sale.
just looking here. So moving forwards, we've got Andy Myers. Again, this is probably not a name that an awful lot of people outside of Stamford Bridge probably remember too fondly and too well, with no disrespect meant. But
What name?
there
Sorry,
he is,
Gatesy?
Andy Myers. So
Okay, a local
lot
lad,
of-
I think, youth player.
a lot of people are saying
And-
who.
Andy Miles, remember the name?
Oh no, he's from West London. That's why I remember he's from there
different
where
one,
I'm
different
from.
one.
Yeah.
The Celestine Babayaro, who was a Nigerian
Yeah,
international.
yeah.
Roberto Di Matteo, who was an Italian international and would later become the first Chelsea manager to win the Champions League with the club.
And he scored the
Bjarne
fastest
Goldbeck.
goal, didn't he? In FA
He
Cup
did
final.
in the FA Cup final, which I don't think that record still stands now. I think didn't Louis Saha break it in about 2009, I think, for Everton? Someone will jump into the chat and correct me. But yes, Di Matteo in 97 scored the fastest goal in an FA Cup final.
And
Bjarne,
finally, Lazio player. I love Lazio players. So
Yes.
Lazio background. Yeah.
Bjarne Goldbeck, who was a Danish international. Dennis Wise. We all remember Dennis Wise. Tore Andre Flo, who was a Norwegian international. And Gianfranco Zola, who would later become our manager for a period of time. And then you look at the substitutes bench for Chelsea. You've got Michael Dewberry, Dan Petrescu, who's a Romanian international, and Mikhail Forsell. Was he Icelandic?
I think you're right.
remember.
You're probably
Yeah.
right.
I think he
Probably
was
right.
certainly Scandinavian, wasn't he? He was Icelandic,
Well,
Norwegian, something like that.
You just mentioned the two teams that we're missing in this tournament that naturally are there, aren't they? Norway and Iceland, always there.
Yeah.
But just missed them.
Went on to play for Birmingham, didn't he? So
I believe
Yeah,
so, yes.
yeah.
So then we move over to the West Ham lineup, and we obviously had Xhaka in goal, Rio Ferdinand, Ian Pearce, and Neil Ruddock operating as a back three. We then had Scott Minto operating as a left wing back, and Trevor Sinclair as the right wing back, essentially. Mark Keller, Frank Lampard, Steve Lomas, the midfield three. Hang on a minute. Hang on. 1, 2. Hang on. No. So Scott Minto was left back. Vivian Foe, Keller, Lampard, So Sinclair,
Is he
would he
playing
have been? I'm trying to
is he
work
playing
this out.
3-5-2?
So Sinclair might have been up front. I don't know if he went free. I'm trying to work this out. It's really weird. Unless he played.
I think
did he play Ian Pearce as a right back? He might have played Ian Pearce as a right back here.
or
Funny
Lomas
feeling.
can play wing back as well, couldn't he? Lomas could.
Could. I mean, you look at this team and it's like, hang on, who was where? Because it's like we've got no one there is a dedicated right back, are they? So yeah, okay,
No.
whatever. Anyway, so
we might
Lampard,
work out
Lomas,
your
Sinclair,
highlights.
and
We'll work out.
I can see the three.
yeah.
It's got to be wing backs again. I can see the three centre backs.
I think it was this season. I know Harry liked to play with wing backs. And we had Steve Potts on the bench, who came on for a 4-minute cameo appearance at the very end. So, and as you see there in the 75th minute, just as a little plot spoiler, Paul Kitson pops up and gets the goal that separates the two teams. The only goal of the match. Just having a look here before I hit play, just to see who's in the live chat. We've got Luke that's just rocked up. 13th of March, my 22nd birthday, but he doesn't remember this game. You were probably pissed. Mark stood throughout this match behind the West Ham dugout, fans arguing for two up front and Redknapp arguing that he was playing two strikers. At the end of the day, we won the game, so it doesn't really matter, does it? And as he goes on to say, Redknapp gave it to all of us following Kitson's winner. Yeah, fair enough. Marcel Desailly, what a player. And apparently we were playing 4-5-1. Okay. And yes, he did play right back a few times. He actually played right wing back on a couple of occasions, as I recollect, as well as right back. He was really versatile, Ian Pearce. He played centre back in the main, but he could play on the right of a back four.
Yeah.
He could play as a wing back. He could play as a striker.
Did he get a stick from the fans as well now and again?
Oh, I think everybody got stick from the fans at one point or another. But Ian Pearce, I thought he was a
he's
good
all
player.
right.
I'm not going to say a great player. That he didn't quite get into that category. But he was a really sort of hard-working, industrious.
That's what I keep thinking.
And exactly what I just said, Luke. He was a striker as well. Yes, indeed. So
compared to some of the players we've had recently, these guys are great. I wouldn't think of doing any of them. Some of them. You've seen the really trash we've seen. Wow, yeah, good lads.
Yeah. And just to bring it up for anybody that was at the match, you might recognise this as the programme.
Big crowd, 36,000. Yeah, big crowd, 35, maybe 36. Yeah.
That was the Chelsea programme from that West Ham game. So those of you
auto class repair, auto class replace.
There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing him in from the cold for
thank
a
you. Yeah, he must be waiting
interlude.
ages.
Yeah, he gets a bit impatient at times, but he's just going to have to like it and lump it. And Peach is just giving a little yes out to Luke. So there you go, Peach. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is from the match at Stamford Bridge this season. It was Chelsea 0, West Ham United 1. Always a good feeling to go to your London neighbours and pick up the 3 points. I think it's fair to say.
Southgate would have loved this result.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen,
same as Tony Pulis.
Ladies and gentlemen, kick back, relax, get yourself a nice cold beer or a wine or a fruit juice, and watch Chelsea 0, West Ham United 1.
Fruit juice not allowed on our show.
So Ruddock with the free kick for West Ham United. Plays the ball left-footed down West Ham's left-hand side to Sinclair. Plays the ball in. Kitson's in the box, but it didn't quite reach him. But Mark Keller's retrieved the ball, and that is a free kick to West Ham United by a foul from Dan Petrescu, who's arguing with the referee. And I think he's going to get a yellow card for his troubles. Look at this again. So the ball there is at Mark Keller's feet. And yes, Dan Petrescu all over the French winger. No doubt about that. And there's the yellow card for the Romanian fullback. So free kick to West Ham. Ball swung in. Vivian Foe with the header. Kitson! 1-0 West Ham! Yes! Referee has given the goal. The ball's crossed the line, according to the referee, and that's the person that matters. And West Ham, on 75 minutes, go 1-0 up here at Stamford Bridge. Ball's played in by Mark Keller. Mark Vivian Foe gets up, gets the header to Paul Kitson, who fires it in. De Huy makes the save with his feet, but it gets over the line, yes. And that is 1-0 to West Ham United. And Chelsea have the ball now. Goldbeck. Wise is making the run. There's Petrescu. Plays the ball in with his left, and Shaka Hislop makes the claim he needed to do. Otherwise, the Chelsea forwards were waiting to pounce. Kitson flicks it on to Sinclair. He carries on his run, does Kitson. But here's Frank Lampard taking the ball to the right-hand side. He gets it back from Ian Pearce and plays the ball back to Ian Pearce, who's carried on his run. And it's just wide from the former Chelsea player. Ian Pearce. It was a ball played in from Frank Lampard. And Ian Pearce just couldn't quite get it on target. And all you can hear is the West Ham fans singing here at Stamford Bridge. It's very quiet from the Chelsea fans, but Chelsea are trying to make something of it. But here's Mark Vivian Foe, and he's won that, and he's off. And he's got Sinclair to his right. Here is Trevor Sinclair, and it's De Huy with the save. And he's played the ball out to Dan Petrescu on Chelsea's right. There's not long left here. Michael Dewberry plays the ball forward. Mikhail Forsell, but he doesn't quite get there. And Neil Ruddock sees the ball out. And Harry Redknapp and Frank Lampard there. And Les Seeley remonstrating with the referee. Time is up. But he hasn't blown his whistle yet. But the West Ham fans, looks like they think it's over. With this goal kick from Shaka Hislop. There is the final whistle. The final score here at West Ham at Stamford Bridge is West Ham United coming away with 3 points due to a Paul Kitson goal in the 75th minute. Chelsea 0, West Ham United 1.
Love it.
I'll tell you what, the look on Vialli rushing down the tunnel, the look on Dennis Wise, and obviously what they must have thought of Ruddock, the Chelsea fans, ex-Spurs, ex-West Ham.
I'm not too sure I'm happy with this comment, Luke. I've got to say, awful kit. That's the one I'm wearing. There's nothing awful about it.
No way.
We've had a lot worse than this.
Feel sorry for the kit man in the winter though with that kit.
No, that kit is
mate.
I'm going to get that. Is that your original Gatesy? Did you buy it a bit later?
Yes, mate. Or? Yeah, no, this is, look, it's proper one. Proper one from back in the day, mate. Still fits like a glove. Yeah, you're right, Luke.
That's a great kit.
Tragic when we lost Mark Vivian Foe.
2003, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was about that. Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly, but just absolutely shocking. And obviously, what happened with Christian Eriksen the other week, it reminded me so much of that. And thankfully, it was a different outcome for Christian Eriksen. But sadly, Mark Vivian Foe gone well before his time, and may he rest in peace. You know what can you say? And Peach likes the kit. He likes the kit. So.
Alex Ferguson was after Vivian Foe for a long time, and then we got a bit of money from Hearts, and Harry thought he could push the deal because didn't have the money before because he cost 4 or 5 million. I remember that. that he was an absolute really beast of a player in the middle of the pitch.
Absolute monster.
Yeah,
In the
so there's
centre
not
of
many
park.
of them.
Absolute monster.
Yeah,
I mean,
And,
what he would be worth now in his prime years, what he would be worth now in the Premier League, God only
touch
knows.
wood, we got 2 of them at the moment at our club, and hope, and we can see the value of that. The whole. I'm sure people are envious non-West Ham fans when they look at our centre mid, but yeah, brilliant.
In my opinion, it's the best combination in the Premier League. I'm not just saying that.
Even the guy in
Neville.
TalkSport, what's his name? The ex-Chelsea Spurs guy does
Tony Cassarino.
Does the late shows, doesn't he? Cundy.
Jason Cundy.
Oh, yeah. I'll call him. I can't say his name. I might get a Twitter ban.
I know what you mean. Yeah, you changed the D, don't you? You changed the letter D.
Yeah, I think it's a D for a T. might take the Y off the end, but there you go. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So away win at Stamford Bridge, 1-0.
On the way back, isn't it? Miles on the way back. On the
there
boat.
You go.
Is it on the boat the West Ham fans come?
The Chelsea are that rich, they're chucking the money in the river instead.
Fulham, innit? Oh, the Chelsea Fulham apartments. Yeah. We're going back to Newham.
Yeah. So, we bring the spotlight back to you, Mr. Miles, for match number 3 of your 3-match selection. So, what have you got for
Jazz? Jazz, do you want to see some goals? Do you want to hear about some goals?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Is it?
Right.
You picked a 0-0.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
0-0.
Please, Mr. Miles, please, can we have some goals? Of course we're going to have some goals, Joel.
It is a 6-goal game.
Oh, my God. Wow.
But 5 to the Hammers.
Gatesy, is that a record? 6? Has anyone covered 6? I've got to remember now.
I did 7 last week in a 4-3.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
7.
So, as you can see, gents, 5 different goal scorers as well in this game. Near the end of the season, 17th of April. So, things are looking up. We're probably thinking we could get these European places. So I will start off with the starting 11 for West Ham United. In goal, Shaka Hislop, Steve Potts, Ian Pearce, Neil Ruddock, Scott Minto, Earl Berkovic, Mark Vivian Faye, Frank Lampard, Steve Lomas, Travis Sinclair, and some Italian fella. I don't know his name, to be honest.
Can't
really do
remember
much,
him making much of an impact, Marty. I really can't.
No.
Don't think he did all that much.
Yeah, Paolo something, wasn't it?
Paulo Futre?
Yeah.
Gatesy, what's the fee? What was the fee? Is it 1.5 million? Is it 2?
I think it was about that. Yeah, it was
1.5 million.
Oh my, oh my God, that is a.
You imagine if he hadn't have pushed over that ref, would he have ever come to West Ham?
No,
I still think he would have. I still think he would have.
No,
eventually.
I
don't know.
No.
Sliding doors moment, isn't it?
This is what we bought from selling Hartson, so we've used the money, fairly wisely. Yeah, not bad.
And look who's on the opposition team. Some other bloke called Paolo.
Yeah, and he gets on the score sheet as well.
How do you think Hartson and DeCania would have gotten together if it was ever possible? Do you think in the same team or?
Don't know.
I don't know actually, because Paolo is more deeper, isn't he? He doesn't really get him behind, but like running wise, does he? So, but the one for me is what I think would have been perfect would have been Hartson and Bellamy. The same as Ashton and Bellamy. Do you know, them two sort of? I know they sort of play together, but like prime both. Can you imagine that as a proper front two?
That'd have been good.
I thought the Kenny and Bellamy are fairly. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so mainly Gates's input on. Gatesy, do you want to read that starting 11? There's a few which I won't pronounce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there was Russell Holt, who was goalkeeper at Leicester before he went to Derby, as I remember. Jakob Lawson, Stefan Schnorr, Horatio Carbonari, Spencer Pryor, Tony DiRigo, who was left back squad member of the 1990 Italia 90 squad for England, Lars Bohinen, Darryl Powell, Mikkel Beck, Dean Sturridge, who I believe is the uncle of Daniel Sturridge, if I remember correctly, and Carlo Wanchop. You okay from here on in, Milesy?
Yeah, I am, mate. Yeah, thank you. It's just some of the names. Some of the names I just don't want to go there. But
that's all right, mate.
I'll mention it now before the end. As you can see, gents, Paolo Wanchop, and apparently his performance in this game was the one what forced the move to us. Apparently as well. Harry was a big fan, but obviously I know the scoreline doesn't do anything. But he got his goal, but it was actually his performances as well against us, which forced the move, obviously in the summer. But we'll cover that next week.
It's always good to buy players who do well against you, time and time again, isn't it?
Yeah. No,
that's
exactly.
a typical Harry substitution, Luke. You know that, and I know that. 18th minute, Potts gets injured, brings on a striker.
It's true, isn't it?
That is Harry. That is Harry all over. We're down to the bare bones.
Yeah.
Only got 48 players in the squad. Yeah.
I know. Anyway, so Trevor Sinclair with a great ball down the line to Paolo Di Canio on the right-hand side. Starts running at the defence, cuts in on his left foot. The goal's actually given to him, but it takes the biggest deflection ever and literally fools the goalkeeper completely. But the goal got given to him, and he celebrated like it was his goal. We always done that with the crowd, running straight into the crowd. And 1-0 to West Ham. Next month, Vivian Foe with a great ball over the top, beat the trap. Di Canio running through. On the right-hand side again, cuts the ball back. Berkovic, great powerful low strike in the bottom left-hand corner. But Berkovic really showed passion when he scored goals, and that was another prime example when you see it, gents. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think he came, like you said, because perhaps in the background he had the odd clash with a player, but that's only. I don't mind players being moody if they've got something to show for it, you know.
Yeah.
So if a lot of these players do have an edge to them, and because he's confident and he runs into the crowd, he'll punch the air, and I love all of that. I think, and even and I think up to this point they're fairly simple celebrations, like the way there should be. None of this lift the shirt up. There's a message underneath, or there's a dance, or which I'm not in favour of. I just like a straight.
Well, we've got a shirt left in this one, but this is actually quite funny. This one.
Like my dad used to say, it used to be the handshake and back to the kickoff.
Yeah. But now though, Jazz, you look stupid, didn't you? I remember like when the goal goes in, unless it's like a welding, you know it's not. They're waiting for VAR, which is just horrible, isn't it?
I thought our celebration with all four of them, playing the instrument, I thought that was class.
Yeah, I know.
That was. And I'm sure, like you said, all the clubs copy us, don't they? So you watch another club will do that. So anyway, brilliant.
Yeah. Anyway, so still in the first half, Trevor Sinclair nicks the ball with a great interception in our half, then starts driving at the defence. The one thing is, I mentioned it in the Newcastle game, and Trevor Sinclair just creates space for other people. When he gets going, the two players want to try and commit and get the ball, but Sinclair has got that great knowledge and great delivery of the ball. Plays the ball on the ground to Di Canio. Di Canio, both-footed as he is, hit the ball left foot. Great save from the goalkeeper, and eventually it hit the post and stayed out, unfortunately. Second half, Bowie with the ball again. Lays the ball back to Lampard, shoots from distance. Poor save from the goalkeeper. And Ian, right, scored his 8th goal of the season, considering he scored 6 in the first 8, I believe, off the top of my head. So he was back and he celebrated. And you mentioned celebrations. Both Di Canio and Ian Wright had the Taz T-shirts, Gatesy. It was at the Bobby Moore end. Do you remember that?
Taz T-shirts?
Yeah, they had Tasmanian T-shirts underneath the goal. They lifted the shirts. They lifted the shirts up. They lifted the shirts up together. Everyone was probably laughing, but yeah, it's It's only because you watch it on the season review, you remember it. But yeah.
Yeah. And where was it that they celebrated the goal? You say it was in
But,
front of the Bobby Moore?
yeah, where
Okay.
you sat in. So yeah, but
Yeah, because my
you
season
know,
ticket was on sort of like the Bobby Moore lower, but it was sort of like very close to
chicken.
the east stand.
Oh
Chicken
right,
one,
so yeah, no, definitely. Um, we get another goal, gents. We had a free kick on the right hand side. Keller whipped the ball in. The ball eventually come out to Foe, who then gave the ball to Sinclair. Sinclair, great delivery as always. Back post, took everyone out the game, and Neil Razor Ruddock with the header, gents. Powerful header, and we went 4-0 up. The fifth goal, this goal was amazing, to be honest. Steve Lomas heavily involved. Then played the ball in, and don't know if you remember it. It was Sinclair sort of jumped and done a header, but it was sideways and like landed on his arse. But he managed to get the header in. Goalkeeper was committed. 5-0, and then 78th minute, Paolo one chop. The ball got played through. He the ball managed to slip through to him. Took it round Chaka Hislop from a tight angle and slotted it home, and had a little smile on his face. I don't know whether Harry had a word with him at half time. Don't worry, you'll be playing for us next season, and wanted to score score in front of his new club. But as you say, gents, it was in April. European sites ahead of us, and we went on to win the game 5-1. Good start. The rest we probably don't want to talk about the remaining few games.
Well, we touched on one of them earlier when I think it was Mark that mentioned the. I will mention it. The 5-1 defeat against Leeds. That was diabolical. Yeah. You know, I mean, 3 players sent off, 5 goals conceded at home. Just God.
The one for me is the Goodison one. What does me?
That's my next game. That's my next game. I'll cover that. Yeah.
Oh, cheers, Joe. Cheers for cheering us up.
You have to.
But no, anyway, that's my third and final.
That is your third and final, and you commend this to the court.
I agree with that, Luke. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? You say underrated player. I think he was only underrated by people that don't understand football, in my opinion.
Good captain as well.
Anyone that understands the game of football knows what Steve Lomas brought to the table, and do not underrate him.
Can you do a shaggy voice for us, Gatesy? Bit of a shaggy voice.
No, that's
brilliant!
Scooby, isn't it?
No, that's good.
That was.
I used to love that show. I loved that show when I used to walk like that, like the funny feet. I used to love that. Innocent days, good old days. There you go.
Tell me, Jazz. Match number 3 of your 3-match selection, my friend. Talk to me.
My game is the last one. Home to Middlesbrough, 16th of May, 1999.
No,
5th place.
One. Hang on.
Yeah.
No, wrong team sheet, Jazz. Not wrong game.
Hang on. That was me. That's me.
Yeah,
I didn't press the right button. Hang on a moment. There we go. Right. Let me try again, shall we?
Take 2.
Ta-da. Take
Brilliant.
2. What could possibly go wrong?
So
let me just get rid of the banner and zoom in.
So this season, that's it. So this season, last game of the season, been a great season. Top 5 gets you Europe, and we are battling with Aston Villa and Liverpool, who are within we're all within 2-3 points of each other. When you watch the West Ham review video, then the club cameras around the ground, everyone's in good spirits. There's an interview with an old lady with a bobble hat locally, and her name, funny enough, is Elizabeth Taylor.
No.
But
don't tell me your old man was called Richard Burton.
No, none of the glamour. Good old East End lady.
Yeah, James, I remember that. And do you remember that the other interview with this bloke? He looks like right scruff with this proper shitty jacket, and he's like, "So how do you reckon the season's gone?" It's good, all right, I suppose. It's good, all right. It's like, fuck off.
Hey, don't you take this out of my dad.
He's probably watching right now, mate. But anyway, yeah, they ask her.
He was
"Ooh,
going
like-"
through a hard time.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, yeah. But, I mean, she says like, yeah, I'm an old season ticket holder. Had a stroke, don't go anymore, but I'm back now, and my favourite player is Skippy. So, like, you guys, you love Skippy, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's held in high regard back then. So people certainly like him. In this game, it's on the back of letting in 11 goals in the previous 2 games, like we were mentioning.
Oof.
We've taken a tonking 5-1 from Leeds away and 6-0 at Everton. So you'd think it's a typical West Ham way. We're not going to get that 5th spot.
We're
Typical.
going to find a way to cock it up.
Yeah, because to be fair, previous to those, we'd won the previous 2. So it's kind of up and down season, really. And this game is 3 assists from Berkovic in this game, which just typifies the whole season, really. And what the commentator says is that hopefully to help West Ham, Arsenal need to get a point against Villa. And then, have a look at the tables quickly. Then we're okay. Yeah, then we're okay, I think. But Gatesy, I won't mention it now. So if you can round up when you do your bit and show what happened, and if you can focus on the goal difference. I won't say anything yet from compared to where we finished. That's quite interesting point. So that would be good. So anyway, game kicks off. Like I keep telling you, my games, you got to get seated early. 4 minutes gone. It's a goal.
Jazz, before you do, are you going to take us through the teams?
Yeah, sorry about that. Getting carried away again.
That's right.
Yeah. So line up. So West Ham, different goalkeeper now. Craig Forrest. And Harry's gone back to a flat back 4. Okay. Minto.
If I remember rightly, I think the reason that Forrest was there was because Xhaka got sent off in the Leeds game, didn't he?
Okay, cool. Because I didn't follow that game, so it looks like you said 3 sendings off, whatever, in that game. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Ian
Madness.
Wright, Steve Lomas. Was it Steve Lomas or was it Mark Vivian Foe?
You're probably
Steve
right.
Lomas.
Probably Lomas. Yeah, probably Lomas.
It was Lomas.
Lomas done a proper naughty challenge. I remember that one.
I don't know why I've got Steve Lomas and Mark Vivian Foe confused. Like I say, it's not as if they were separated at birth, in fairness.
Actually, yeah, we're missing all those players for your last game. Wow, that could have been serious. But yeah, flat back 4, Minto, Roddick, Potts, Rio, midfield, Trevor Sinclair. Thank God Trevor wasn't bloody booked in that game, Mark Vivian Foe, Lampard, Keller, but God, that's still a good midfield, isn't it? Still good midfield.
Yeah.
De Canny up front by himself, and if anything, I would have guessed he would have been one of the 3. But he never used to play away games, did he?
Steady.
But there we go. And Joe Cole on a bench can't be bad. So Middlesbrough, Mark Schwarzer in goal, very good goalkeeper. Back 3, Steve Vickers, Dean Gordon, Gary Pallister. So Pallister's the one who's gone back. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Andy Townsend in midfield, Keith O'Neill, Cummins, Somerville, Robbie Mustoe. I remember that name. Played for Hull, perhaps. Oxford, or one of them, Robbie Mustoe. Brian Dean and Hamilton Rijkaard up front. So very physical 2 forwards up front. And like I was mentioning, a very crucial game for West Ham to hopefully get something and get one of those European positions. So 4 minutes gone. 1-0 to West Ham. Pala Di Canio. Very short corner to Berkovic. And when you've got them 2 together, you're not going to lose the ball and something's going to happen. These 2 on the same pitch. That's amazing. Berkovic finds the oncoming Lampard. And Lampard, when he connects with the ball, because he's only got one thing on his mind, which I like about great players. No confusion. He's going to have a shot. And he's confident. And Lampard, I remember. Oh, bloody hell. Sorry about that. That's traditional, isn't it? We've got to have one of those every time, haven't we?
Oh, brilliant. Love it. This is not scripted, ladies and gentlemen. This is totally off the cuff.
And
flying by the seat of our pants as usual.
It's usually back now when it happens. So 4 minutes gone, short corner, Di Canio to Berkovic. Berkovic, obviously very aware of what's going to happen. Ongoing Lampard, 30 yards out. Left-hand corner, goalkeeper has no chance. We're 1-0 up. And Lampard, he wasn't naturally talented. What he says is that he used to practice for hours and hours after training, a bit like Ronaldo and other people. They work on their game. They're focused on making a career no matter what happens. And you see the result on the Saturday, really. It's not by fluke that Lampard was double digits.
It's the old saying, isn't it? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
There are some players that I think Dix might be one of them who's naturally just natural. He says, I just used to turn up. I never trained. I never warmed up. Can of Coke, Mars bar, and start banging him. So there are players like that. And there are other players that...
Sorry, Joe. That comment, well said, Tom.
Penalty!
Actually, he won a free kick a few minutes after the game started, which is quite hilarious because perhaps some of the foreign referees don't know about him or other clubs.
Yeah, so Scott done a lottery on what minute Grealish got booked. Someone said in the warm-up what minute it'll get taken down. I said 4th minute. I was wrong.
But for me, he kind of excites me watching England. One of the few things I enjoy, and I was happy for him to start, and really happy for Sacco. I like a bit of and a great assist from Grealish that we forget. Great lofted header that just went over Sacco's head and luckily turned in by Mr. Sterling. But anyway, so 1-0 up. 26 minutes gone. It's 2-0, and it's Mr. Keller. So, Gatesy, these are the Aussie boys again, aren't they, Keller? Australian Aussie?
No, he's French. He's French.
Oh, what the hell? I totally got confused with that one. Okay, apologise to you.
Not even in the right continent.
Because the last 2 seasons, we've obviously got that school, and there's been Skippy and kind of all those players coming in, really.
Yeah, there was quite a lot around this time.
So I think this is going to be one of one of Berkovic's assists again, I think, after the other one. So he runs with the ball, finds Sinclair. Sinclair runs into the box, takes it around the goalkeeper. But this is where, again, when you see a quality player. So you're in the area, the goalkeeper has moved you to the right, and a typical 8 out of 10 player, he will try to score and he'll miss the target, and that's the end of it. What Sinclair does, knowing that a shot on goal isn't probably the clever idea now because I've been pushed to the right a bit more. He unselfishly and very cleverly anticipates Keller and Di Canio, who are in the area, are ready to tap it in, and he passes across, and Keller's there. So if Keller misses, Di Canio's going to get it. So you and me would have scored that, but it's just what Sinclair clever people do, and it's 2-0, and I love that. Instead of just trying to shoot when, come on, mate, you're not going to get it on target, but 9 out of 10 times, this is what people do. But he kind of anticipated it and we're 2-0 up, really, and there's not much Schwarzer can do. He's not having a good game, and we're 2-0 up. And like I mentioned on my notes, a very intelligent play by Sinclair for cutting it across unselfishly and being aware of his 2 teammates who are in a better position than him to put it in the net. And that doesn't happen that often, does it, gentlemen? Doesn't happen often.
No.
All right.
Half-time, 2-0 up, and looks like we're in a position where, it's in our hands. So if we carry on, doesn't matter what happens in the Liverpool or certainly in the Villa game, we're going to finish quite high up. So second half, we have to wait a bit. Borough are not really offering much up front. It's Trevor Sinclair, 75 minutes gone. It's 3-0. And Berkovic, a bit like Michael Hughes, wasn't it, 2 years, Milesy, with Berkovic taking... Because he looks like he kind of replaced him and obviously taken it to another level. But every goal you score, it's kind of through him. So well done for Harry for spotting these type of players. When one goes, the other leaves off the conveyor belt. Very similar. So Berkovic is on the halfway line. He slots it to Marc-Vivien Foé, and he gives it back to Berkovic. And then again, Sinclair finding space, going into the box, committing himself, anticipating the pass. Berkovic finds Sinclair and he slots it past the oncoming goalkeeper and a great finish. And it's 3-0. So it's all about working on the training ground. Berkovic knows the runs that Sinclair's going to make, and I'm gonna find him. So 3-0. And only 3 minutes later, it's 4-0. It's Trevor Sinclair again. Berkovic again. in his own half, finding Trevor Sinclair, making the move again, making himself
He
available.
was a special player.
And on his own, he's running towards the box, and the goalkeeper's about to come out, and he volleys it in, really. And the ball kind of goes inside the goal and comes out again. So perhaps at the ground, you're not sure. Has it gone in? Has it gone over the goal line? I think the Kenya just slots it in to make sure, but it's kind of Sinclair's goal, really, and good end to the season, really, really good end. 4-0. The fans are happy. The party atmosphere, and I will leave it to Marzi at the end to confirm where we finished, what we got, the goal difference, funny scenario with that.
You mean Gatesy, not me. Gatesy does the research.
Gatesy, sorry.
No,
Yeah.
User on the big screen now. I'm going to put a picture on of all three of us. Look, I've put my laptop had to charge.
Yeah.
So user on the big TV now.
Okay, brilliant, mate. Brilliant. So really good. Yeah. Nice home win. And despite some people missing out, seems like Harry's got a lot of players that can come on. Can mix it around and come on, and we still have the same intent, really. So, yeah, we've lost a few players during the season for various reasons, transfers, but the ones coming in have done a really great job. So Harry's good at. You lose someone, you think, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Hartson's gone, but he just seems to find another nugget to come in, really. So lots of goals, good attacking football, great technical players, West Ham football, good season. I say a lot of things about Harry, but well done, mate. Well done. Really good.
Yeah,
I think we'll talk about it after Gates has done a game. There was an interesting stat. What I was looking at the fixtures during a couple of months, which I think if we had a bit of luck, we may have got fourth. I know we were quite off, but we'll let Gates do his game first.
Gates will explain. We were quite way off.
Well, don't forget though that this was before 4 places qualified for Champions League. I think it was just the top 2. In fact, it was because this was the year that Manchester United did the treble, and Arsenal was second, and it was just those 2 that qualified for the Champions League, as I remember. So this was before top 4 got Champions League places.
And Gatesy, if you can highlight where Liverpool finished and where we finished at the end, that would bring me a smile. Yeah.
I will mention it. I will
Thank
mention it. Don't worry.
Brilliant.
I'll probably have a wry smile on my face because my brother-in-law is a Liverpool fan. And do you know how many games he's been to see at Anfield?
None.
A few.
0.
Oh, wow.
0.
Oh,
he's seen Liverpool more often
armchair
at
fan.
Park than he ever saw them
fan.
at Anfield.
Yeah. They have the most armchair fans out of any club.
Worst ladies' night.
Strong armchair then. He's sitting on that bloody...
No, Luke, it's like you're in a nightclub and everyone else is dancing and you're sitting there just drinking your drink. It's looking at them do the Macarena on Saturday night.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do before I get my match up, and you guys in the live chat can get involved and we'll have a little bit of fun with this. 38 Premier League games, and it is a Premier League game that I've selected. And if you had to pick one team that I'm going to pick out that we beat, and it is a victory for us, and it's an away victory, who do you think I'm going to pick? Bearing in mind the material that I've got to work with. So, Jazz, who could I possibly have picked? What team did you think we rocked up to their home territory and took a great big dump in the centre circle? Who could I possibly pick, do you think?
I think... Yeah, it's going to be my favourite team, isn't it? The one I covered in one of my games.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think it's the people not too far from us who pretend that they're North London, but they're really northeast, I would
Okay.
say, strictly speaking, and
Might
not
be.
far closer to us than they like to think they are. And they like to think they're more educated than us, they're more posher than us, and they call us all kinds of names. And
I think I
let's
know
not
where
get political.
what
Let's
you're
not get political,
insinuating.
but yeah.
Well, Mr. Burford thinks that it's the Spuds. What about you, Mr. Miles? I mean, Jazz thinks it's Spurs. Mr. Burford thinks it's Spurs. I don't know if any of you others in the live chat want to give me your opinion. Who could I have possibly picked for this game? Milesy, do you think it's Spurs, or do you think I'm throwing a curveball
No,
here?
I reckon it's the reverse fixture. What Jazz said, I reckon it's the Riverside Middlesbrough. I'm joking. Nah.
Wimbledon away, 0-0. Villa away, 0-0. Leicester away, 0-0. Got a lot of 0-0s there, Gatesy. Coventry, 0-0. Oh my God, 4 away 0-0s we've got to pick from.
No,
Yeah,
no, it's got to be the Scum, innit?
the Scum. Well, let's have a look. Let's add it to the street. No, not quite, Luke. Not quite. Although they did have a collection of these people in the team. In fact, I think the entire 11 consisted of Deportivo wankers. That is actually an actual football team. I don't know if any of you are aware of it. There is a football team. I'm not too sure if they're from Bolivia or somewhere like that, called Deportivo Wanka.
Well, Uruguay have just scored against Bolivia. Uruguay have just scored 1-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, of course. It had to be, didn't it? It had to be this lot. Now, here's the thing. I was at this match.
Oh, wow.
I was at this match. And I was at this match with a girlfriend.
You got 2 tickets.
I was at this match with a girlfriend, right?
Were you at the West Ham?
And oh yeah.
Was it easy to get tickets, or?
Yeah. Relatively straightforward.
2 tickets.
I was at this
Did you
match
take
with
us
a
to Pie match first?
I can't remember. I'm not entirely sure. Might have done, but see, now the thing is, this particular girlfriend didn't like pie mash and liquor. She's a bit sort of strange.
That's not a keeper, then, is it?
Now this is the thing. This is the sort of the plot twist, because despite the fact that this particular girlfriend didn't sort of like particularly go a bundle on pie mash and liquor, she later became my wife. She's the mother of my 3 children.
I'm all right with both. Gravy.
And she's a Spurs fan.
I know more people that like gravy. I know more people that like gravy, but I can't mention their names.
She was sat next to me.
Northern boys love gravy.
She was sat
That's why they go
to
back
me.
to Everton. We can't buy Everton players, Milesy.
Yeah.
She was sat next to me in obviously the away supporters end, and I'm jumping up and down and shouting and screaming at the top of my lungs. And she must have been looking at me and thinking, what the fuck have I got hiked up with? She could have got out of the relationship right there and then, but you know.
What did she have to eat instead of pie and mash then? Or did she have it and say, I'm not going to finish it? Or how did that go then, the food?
Do you know what? I can't. I don't really remember too much about that.
Well, did you go safe with a cheese and ham sandwich? Always go safe.
I can't remember, mate. I mean, don't forget, this is what, 22 years ago, mate. I mean, I can barely remember what happened 22 hours ago.
Job done.
Anyway, let's have a look at the teams, ladies and gentlemen. So in goal for Tottenham Hotspur, Ian Walker, the floppy-haired one. Then you had Stephen Carr, the Irish international. Sol Campbell, who's such a well thought of figure at White Hart Lane. They love him.
Statue outside.
They love him.
God bless
statue.
Him. Yeah.
I think they retired his shirt
stand,
number and everything. The Sol Campbell stand. Yes, they love him.
He just went to another small club in North London, didn't he, after, I think, was it?
No, I think he went to a proper football club.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Premier Leagues and FA Cups
and
whatnot. I don't think you can say they're a small club.
Marble floor.
I'm only joking.
Luke Young was another defender who we mentioned earlier, later went to Charlton. Maurizio Tirico, remember him? He actually had a very, very brief career as a West Ham player.
Did he?
So brief.
I don't remember that.
He signed for us. I think, if I remember correctly, he made his one and only appearance for us at the Den. against Millwall.
No, gone
He
over my
got
head, mate.
injured. He got injured.
Oh.
And to be fair to him, he turned around and said, I'm basically going to be out of the equation for an extended period of time. I tell you what, we'll just tear up my contract. Quite incredible.
Wow.
He could have just turned around and said, no, we've signed a contract. That's binding, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take the money and all the rest of it. But he just went, nah, fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll just tear the contract up and walk away. And fair play to the guy.
Yeah.
So maybe not a lot of people know that one, but there you go.
Maybe he didn't have Kieran Dyer or Freddie Lingard as friends. Candy Carroll and all those people.
Romance is dead. Not what I'm
mate, you don't want to do that,
you're
mate.
Right.
No, I know how to do it.
10 wankers, Tarico. Yeah, you're right. As I was just saying, Luke, to be fair, he didn't have to tear up that contract, but he did. And Tom's just saying there, he reckons that we were linked with Luke Young in every transfer window for about 8 years. So
yeah, I mentioned that, didn't I, earlier? Yeah, and then he went to Middlesbrough.
Was that a bit like Io Good Johnson? He turned us down 2-3 times, was it? And a couple of other players come to mind. Yeah.
Mark, dry your eyes, mate. Honestly, there's no need to get a bit sort of like emotional and all the rest of it. Don't you start crying on me, mate. Pull yourself together. You're a man. Come on. Anyway, so where was I? So Darren Anderton. This was a guy that always seemed to be injured until England got near a sort of major tournament, and all of a sudden he'd be fine.
He was in my game and your game, so he didn't get injured. Like, always up for the West Ham game, wasn't he? Yeah.
But he was known as Sick Note for those that are sort of like a little bit too young to remember him. He was known as Sick Note, and there was a good reason for it. Stefan Freund, who was a German international, David Ginola, who he's sort of like he's now working in the media. I think he's had spells on TalkSport and various other places. Jose Dominguez, who was a Portuguese winger. Tim Sherwood, who obviously later managed Tottenham Hotspur and
don't like him. Don't like him.
He was also the captain of Blackburn when they won
the
Premier League in '95.
Yeah.
And up front they had Stefan Everson, who again I think he was another player that I think suffered with a few injuries here and there. So anyway, moving on to West Ham. Oh, I'll just scroll out. Let's just have a look at the subs. So substitutes for Tottenham were Alan Nielsen and Chris Armstrong. And so the West Ham team was Shaka Hislop in goal. Then we had Rio Ferdinand, Ian Pearce, Scott Minto, Eyal Berkovic, Mark Keller, Frank Lampard, Steve Lomas, John Moncur, and Trevor Sinclair and Ian Wright were sort of like 2-man or 1.5-man strike force. I guess Trevor Sinclair would have been dropping a little bit deeper, and probably Ian Wright would have been up front when we was out of possession mainly. 89th minute, Stan Lazaridis came on for Ian Wright. And you can see it there, what the scoring sequence was. And one of the players that scored was the former Arsenal man, Ian Wright, going back to White Hart Lane.
I didn't know about that. That is. I've got to see this then. I've got to see it.
I'll tell you what, this wasn't a bad goal. It was not a bad goal. But
I want to see the
Luke,
celebration.
you say he was overrated? Well, I thought he was a bit like Di Canio. I think he was box office, to be honest.
No,
I think
he was good.
A very skillful player. He might not have won anything, but neither did Matthew Letitia. So I don't always think that.
Talking about Ericsson,
define you.
He had a scary moment as well, didn't he? A couple of years ago, had a bit of a stroke on the pitch, didn't he? 2 years ago.
Who's that? Sorry,
David Ginola. He had a stroke playing football 2 years ago.
I thought he had a heart attack. I thought it was a heart attack he had. Did he have a heart bypass or something?
Yeah. He was playing. Was it just casual football, wasn't it? Away from. Yeah. And he just it's quite frightening. But he got help fairly quickly, and so like you said, it can happen to anyone. Just keep an eye on things, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, before I move on to it, I do apologise because I've got programs for the Derby match, which is that one right there. That was for the Derby match. That one is for the Middlesbrough match.
Like it.
Shaka.
Shaka, Shaka.
Is that him laughing when he got sent off?
No,
I
it's when
doubt it.
Gerrard scored.
No, I think that was because they knew he was Hammer of the Year, so they put him on the front cover. That was the last home game of the season. And
Well,
that, ladies and gentlemen,
yeah, that's
is
it.
the Tottenham program that we're about to cover the match of. So, sitting in a cupboard, waiting very, very patiently, is a football commentator by the name of the Audi Martin Tyler. Hang on. Computer's gone a little bit mad here. Let me just get rid of that. Okay. And get rid of that. So, the Audi Martin Tyler, I'm going to release him from his cage for the final time tonight. What better way to finish a 9-match sequence of the season that we finished 5th in the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen? What better way to finish than us turning up at White Hart Lane and taking a crap right in the middle of their centre circle? Couldn't be better than that, could it, ladies and gentlemen? And I was in there in the away stand with my then girlfriend, who was a Tottenham fan, and 3 years later, I married her. And she's still with me. She still cooks for me, washes my underpants. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Tottenham Hotspur 1, West Ham United 2 from White Hart Lane. Enjoy. So the ball's played forward by Ian Walker. Rio Ferdinand gets his head to it. Ayel Berkovic brings it forwards. Through ball to Sinclair, but Ian Walker was quick to react, but so was Ian Wright from distance, and that is the opening goal here at White Hart Lane, and it's the former Arsenal man, Ian Wright, with the opener for West Ham United. The ball was played by Ian Walker, a clearing ball, but only as far as Ian Wright, the arch predator, and from fully 20-25 yards, steers it into the Tottenham Hotspur net. Lomas with the throw, long throw towards Ayel Berkovic. Doesn't make its intended target, but it does in the end. And Berkovic plays the ball inside to Lampard, offloads it to Moncur, who plays it out to West Ham's left to Mark Keller, cuts inside, gets his shot away, takes a deflection en route. It's a West Ham United corner, but West Ham are looking to add to their 1-goal lead. They're not sitting on this. They're going for the jugular. There's a corner to West Ham United. Ayel Berkovic plays it short to John Moncur, who offloads it back to Ayel Berkovic. Plays the ball to Mark Keller from distance. Hits the post. Ian Walker's right-hand post met by the drive. Ginola plays the ball in, and it's cleared by the West Ham defence, who remain strong and up to the challenge. And the ball's played through to Frank Lampard. He's got Ayel Berkovic for company. There is the little Israeli. Plays a through ball. Mark Keller's onto it. No flag from the linesman. 2-0 West Ham United. Mark Keller, the French winger, latches onto a beautiful through ball from Ayel Berkovic, and West Ham double their advantage here at White Hart Lane. And all you can hear is the West Ham fans cheering, the Tottenham fans very, very quiet. Here it is again. Berkovic, this beautiful through ball. Mark Keller timed his run to perfection and steers it comfortably past Ian Walker. And all you can hear is the West Ham fans singing away, but Jose Dominguez looking to try and change that, but his drive with a deflection just takes the pace off of it. It goes through to Shaka Hislop rather tamely. But Tottenham just starting to mount a little bit of an offensive comeback. They're keeping the ball well, but they're still 2 goals adrift. And the West Ham fans singing, "Can you hear us, Upton Park? Ball's played through to Ginola. Ginola strikes from distance, and that's cut the deficit. It's now Tottenham Hotspur 1, West Ham United 2. There was nothing that Shaka Hislop could do about that. It was a beautiful drive from David Ginola. And that makes for an interesting last 17 minutes here at White Hart Lane. As David Ginola cuts inside and unleashes a right foot pile driver into Shaka Hislop's goal. So Stephen Carr with the free kick on, and it's Sol Campbell with the header, but it's not on target, and it just goes past Shaka Hislop's right-hand post. The Tottenham captain met the cross from Stephen Carr, couldn't get it on target. Sol Campbell plays the ball forward right-footed, looking for Chris Armstrong, and the overhead by Tim Sherwood just past Shaka Hislop's right-hand post. They're asking questions of West Ham, but at the moment, they have the answers. Throw in towards Campbell. Comes back to Alan Everson on Tottenham's right-hand side. Plays the ball into Ginola. He's got Sinclair for company. And Sinclair comes away with the ball. He's got Lampard to the right. He's got Stan Lazaridis to his left. He's played it to Lazaridis, but the flag's gone up for offside. The Australian has been flagged for offside, and it's a free kick taken quickly by Ian Walker to Stephen Carr down the right-hand side. He's bringing the ball. Tim Sherwood. David Ginola offloads it again to Stefan Freund. Jose Dominguez. And that's a meaty challenge by John Moncur. I think he's in trouble here. It's a red card for John Moncur here at White Hart Lane.
Love it.
Great.
Of course
Can't
you
be a
did.
win.
It was a win at Spurs. Of course you loved it. What was there not to love?
I know.
Just going back on the comments that were sort of coming in as that was playing. Tom, I'm going to agree to disagree. I thought Ginola was a cracking player. I thought he was box office. I think if he was in a claret and blue shirt, I think we'd have loved him, but we had the Canio, so we loved him instead. But I thought he was a cracking player. But there you go. We'll agree to disagree. He may make an appearance at some point. You never know, Tom. You never know. Calm down. Would you use West Ham United Insurance Services? Luke's asking.
No.
Never heard of
sure
them.
I
Never heard
would.
of them. Never heard of them.
No, it's probably why they're not around so much
I think
now.
they used to do the MBNA credit card back in the day. No, I don't want to go for any of that. No.
No.
All I know is
It'd be a
Jeff
bit like
Hurst,
sort of putting a condom on made by Trotter's Independent Traders. I wouldn't trust it.
all I know is like before this, like when back Windows became West Ham sponsors, Jeff Hurst he used them for his house, and he's mentioned all throughout the season on, was it page 1 of the program, back Windows?
Yeah.
I would recommend them with his lovely sort of nice house he's probably got, and you can see the nice little windows and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd imagine he'd have got looked after quite well. I call it Shite Hart Lane, and I call it 3 Point Lane, actually, guys. So
I just call it a shit.
Uriah Rennie, he was some sort of martial arts expert. I don't know if it was taekwondo, karate, or something like that. But he was apparently a really hard sort of bloke. So I wouldn't have mucked about with him. If he said, it's a foul against you, mate, I'd have probably gone, yeah, all right, fair enough.
Cudgeon saying that to Rebka. Rebka versus Rennie. The 2 R's.
Yeah. He liked, Tom liked the challenge from Monks. He thought it was a good challenge.
So did I. I think he got the ball.
That was a bad one. He went flying into that. As soon as he did that, I was like, oh! But we held on for the 3 points. So, and as I say, the girlfriend that I took to the football, it didn't put her off quite clearly. So there you go. Now, So that is our 9 matches all done and dusted. So let's turn our attention to our Premiership record. We finished with that record, gentlemen. Have a look at those details. Played 38, won 16, drew 9, lost 13. And this is the one that really sort of gets me. We finished 5th, but we scored 46 goals, conceded 53. All right, 11 of the goals that we conceded were conceded in matches number 36 and 37 of that particular sequence. But we finished on a goal difference of -7. Now, just to give a little bit of context to this, the team that finished 4th, 1 place above us, was Leeds United. They had a goal difference of +28 to our -7. Yeah. Aston Villa, who were 1 place below us, +5.
Knew what
There
the
you
problem
go.
was, though.
Yeah. Defensively, we were just letting were we letting too many goals in, or were we not? Because again, just to put a little bit of context on it, Leeds United, who were the team that finished above us, scored 62 goals. Aston Villa scored 51, the team that finished below us. We scored 46. I actually think
It's a bit
the
of
problem
both.
was a bit of both, because again, we scored less goals than the team that finished 1 place above, 1 place below. We conceded more goals than the team that finished 1 and above and below, and our goal difference is absolutely shocking.
I think it's a mix of goalkeepers changing a lot without any even being outstanding, and the opposite side to Sinclair at wing back, you got people like Minto. I mean, and one of the 3 centre backs not quite there regularly. So if your partners are changing regularly, it's just a mixture of that. Goalkeeper, opposite side to Sinclair, wing back, and the centre back position. Just and Margas, all that money wasted on him. He's gone. He's come and gone as this 1.678 million World Cup guy, and he's just not offered anything and gone. So I think that's what's happened, and he spent all the money up
Story
front,
that I
which
heard
shows.
is that he did a runner from the hotel. He literally jumped out of the hotel with a passport and just a few bob in his pocket and pissed off back to Chile and was never seen again.
But this
That's the
is why
story I
I've never
heard.
been in favour of signing players on the back of a tournament, like even these
I know.
Euros. I don't want to sign anyone that we don't know before.
Thing is, Harry did it with Rado Choi, and he didn't learn with that, and he did it again with
Well,
Margas. You're like, for Christ's sakes.
Well, Barrera gives me nightmares. Barrera, the Mexican winger, he gives me nightmares. We couldn't just give him away. We couldn't give him away. Winston Reid slowly did turn to be a good signing from his stint at New Zealand, where I believe he was played as a right back, or
I think
or was he a centre back? But then started with us as a right back, and I thought that's the end of him now. And then he slowly became quite good.
Yes, it is, Tom.
As a centre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 6-0 at Everton, that was the game 37 of 38. So, yeah, not particularly great, but we finished 5th, as we say, and we got European football. We qualified, again, for you youngsters, you young pups amongst us. We qualified for a tournament called the Intertoto Cup. You're sitting there thinking, what the bloody hell's that? Well, basically, it was a UEFA glorified pre-season tournament where if you won it, and there were 3 winners the year that we won it. We weren't the only team to win the Intertoto Cup. There were 3 winners of it. There was us, there was Montpellier, and Juventus, if I remember correctly. So,
I think so.
Anyway, so, yes, it was term. That was Michelin. So, Luke's just saying TT Kamara and Song next year. God.
Spoiler alert, Luke.
Yeah. Cheers, Luke. Christ's sakes. Yes, Juve. Right. So we move on. So the cup exploits, and I think you touched on this earlier, didn't you, Jazz? We went out basically at the first hurdle. In the FA Cup, we went to a replay against mighty Swansea, who at the time I think would have been a 2nd or 3rd tier club. I can't remember. We lost away 1-0, and in the League Cup, 2nd round, it was a 2-legger back in those days, children. in the second round. Away, we lost 0-2. At home, we won 1-0, and we lost 1-2 on aggregate to them. Look at this. Our top goal scorer didn't even hit double figures. 9 goals.
Yeah.
Our top
didn't it?
goal scorer. What?
Crazy, isn't it?
That is absolutely just. And we still managed to get 5th, and that is just ridiculous. Our attendances, just to give some context again to home attendances and all the rest of it, our highest home attendance, so this is in all competitions, 26,044 against the old enemy, Jazz, the game that you picked, 28th of November 1998 in a Premier League fixture against the Spuds. Our lowest home attendance, 23,153 against Southampton. Always seems to be Southampton more often than not that we get our lowest attendance with around this part of history. 28th of September 1998, again a Premier League fixture, and our average home league attendance was 25,639. So, gentlemen, before I put up the tab for the actual Hammer of the Year, your selection. So we'll start with you, Mr. Miles. Your personal Hammer of the Year.
It's Tricky Trev for me.
Okay.
40 appearances or 41, 42, I can't remember off the top of my head now, and 7 goals. But it's not just his goals, it was just his all-round contribution. All the games you've covered, all the games I've covered, all the games Jazz has covered.
Yeah.
He's involved. He's involved in all of them, and I think I think by a few, I'm not saying by everyone, I think he was underappreciated by other clubs on just how good he was, and I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. The only credit he got deserved, in my opinion, was the 2002 World Cup. Apart from that, he didn't get noticed. So for me, his all-round contribution, love him as a pundit as well. Always speaks well about the club, and I'm very happy he played for the Claret and Blue. So for me, Mr. Tricky Trevor Sinclair.
And you, Jazz, your own personal Hammer of the Year?
It's got to be. I don't know if he's called Tricky Trevor at any point, but it'll be Trevor Sinclair. I think. I mean, having played right back for the school and all that kind of, I know how hard it is. And if wing back, I think you got to be mad to play wing back. Nuts. You got to have certain type of engine, and that's why only Brazilians play that role, because I don't know what those Brazilians eat. People like Cafu and Roberto Carlos, and no other nation can produce those type. You got to be really physically fit to play that position. And he not only he did play that, he scored numerous goals, assists, anticipation, never standing still, making Berkovic life a bit easier when you want to play that defense splitting pass. And even when he said one of the games we didn't have anyone up front, he happily played that role. He's one of the few players at that time under Eriksson. I think he played in the Japan World Cup, being a very late addition to the squad, which made me happy.
Replaced Danny Murphy, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember you mentioning it. And then, being a really good pundit, he's showing that he's clever, he's well-spoken, he's got good views on the game, he says it the way it is. And, really, really, really good guy. And started at Blackpool, QPR, Manchester lad, I think. It's Trevor Sinclair for me, mate. Yeah, all-rounder, mate. Incredible.
Well,
Superman.
Well, Mark
we're
in the
getting a
live
full
chat,
swoop.
Mark in the live chat said Trevor Sinclair, so that's 3 votes for Tricky Trev. Any of you other guys in the live chat, if you want to get your votes in for your own personal Hammer of the Year, then please feel free to do so.
And please call. And you got to call the number and press 1 for Trevor Sinclair. Line's closing in 2 minutes.
Calls will be charged at £1.50 a second. Do you know what? It's a clean sweep from us.
That's the first. That's the first. That's the first.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, just looking here at Trevor Sinclair, he made 36 league appearances, 7 goals, 2 appearances in the FA Cup, 2 appearances in the League Cup. And he played everywhere. He played as a striker. He played as a right winger. He played as a right wing back. He played as a second striker. He was all over the place. And yeah, never ever. I don't ever remember watching a game where Trevor Sinclair had a bad game. I mean, he might have had a quiet game here and there, but they were very, very few and far between. He was usually involved in some way, shape, or form during the match. But I don't really remember watching a Trevor Sinclair performance and thinking he didn't turn up. He was absolutely hopeless. So,
But the thing about the thing about Trev is he always wants the ball. He never shied away. He might not have got the better of the defender, but he was one of them players who just wanted the ball, and he's a winger, but with a striker's brain, like what you said, Jazz. The chance what you had in your game, he could have easily went for goal, but he had that winger's instinct as well. Is I'm not going to score, so fair play to him.
He like everything. Like I was saying, we all remember that overhead kick goal for QPR, the match of the day goal of the season.
Mm.
We all remember, like you said,
One at Derby.
Yeah. Killer instinct in front of goal. Really good. That goal where I kept saying, and it's all reminding me how well these players did back then. Where all our players now are doing wrong. Like there's no one slipping around. There's no. And even then, when he scored that goal where he took it around the goalkeeper, but then he had the brains to understand that I'm a little bit moved to the right. And I'm telling you, 99% of players in the modern game would have, like, especially Antonio, God bless him, he would have gone for goal, even he knows he ain't gonna, but I'm just going to do it. But he saw the two players waiting for the pass, and he passed it across, and we scored. And I'm thinking, wow. And then, like you said, never standing still. And Berkovic, okay, we praise him for the defense splitting passes and looking up for assists, but if there's no one running into space, and how many times even in tournaments there's someone about to take a throw, and we saw it yesterday or the day before, every game, no one's making a move, no one's moving, and they're still holding the referee saying, come on, take the throw in. And why do we take short corners in a modern game, which pisses everyone off? Because no one's making a move. No one's making a move. They're looking up saying, and they're like holding hands up. So it's really, really good what we're doing. And it's just appreciating. I think the football in the olden days was, it's better, mate. But there you go. Yeah.
Us old farts are probably looking at it through rose-tinted glasses. But do you know what? Forgive us. We are old farts and we do look through rose-tinted glasses.
Okay.
So whatever.
Leave me alone.
All right. Sinclair, Dix,
young
DeCanio, we
old
admit
fart.
those players don't come along. They come along every so
That
often.
was
So
a proper team, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that was the hammer of the year and the runner-up. The winner was Shaka Hislop. In between the sticks, he got the hammer of the year official.
What with that goal
award.
difference?
And
bloody hell! Okay.
I think that the goals conceded were not because of Shaka Hislop's performances; they were in spite of them. If you know what I mean. To be fair, I remember that season, and Shaka was really good. Really good.
Is it the next season when he made the save of the season against the Yids? Remember he got save of the season, didn't he?
I wish he kept it for the final.
I can't remember. But the thing is, I mean, you say about we had a -7 goal difference. Don't forget, as I say, in games 36 and 37, we conceded 11 goals in those 2 games. So there's the problem right there. 36 games, you're doing all right, and you know. It's two games out of that really cocks up the goal difference.
Who's the goalkeeper for those 2 games again? Gatesy, those 2 6 and the 5.
I've got a funny feeling it wouldn't have been. Well, Shaka was in the first game, which was the
probably Forest
defeat at home to Leeds, but I think it would have been Forest for the Everton away game.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Who's the runner-up hammer of the year?
Ian Pearce.
That's really odd.
Yeah, to be fair, again, I thought he had a good season. He was very versatile. Very
Yeah.
versatile, and
Okay.
I don't think he ever really let the club down in this particular season. I believe, Tom, in answer to your question, I'm fairly sure it's the next season. Yes. Yeah, I'm fairly sure it was the following season that Sasa Ilic rocks up and conceded 4 goals on his one and only appearance against mighty Everton. So there you go. Stay tuned. You never know. We might include it. One of us might be brave enough to put a 0-4 home
We
defeat.
might have Saselic as a secret guest. You never know. You never know. Some of the things that
Was
we
he
get
the
up
goalkeeper with the wig? I believe he was, Luke. I'm fairly sure he did have a
to.
syrup.
Come off it. Really?
I think he did. I remember
What?
hearing. Oh, no. I tell you what. I don't know. Was it him? Or am I thinking of the Bulgarian goalkeeper, Borislav Mihailov? Honestly,
What?
he
Crazy.
definitely had a syrup. Can you imagine that diving full length to make a save, and as you're sort of like you're flying through the air like a salmon, your hairpiece comes flying off.
Like Only Fools and Horses when Damien's born and he goes down and has a look and he comes up with
That's it. Yeah, that's the
Crazy.
one. Yes, that's the one. That's the one, Tom. Borislav Mihailov. He was the Bulgarian goalkeeper when Bulgaria got to the last 4 at the '94 World Cup in America, and he later went to Reading. I think he was known sort of like colloquially as Bobby Mihailov, but Borislav Mihailov. Yeah. In fact, yeah, he played for Reading. My mate's a Reading fan, said it regularly fell off.
I need to keep an eye on those Reading
He could make
tickets.
the best save that I've ever seen. He could make the best save if his wig fell off as he's made it. I'd just be pissed.
It'll be like the beach ball. When Darren Brent scored, it would come off his wig.
Yeah.
I wonder whether that will count as a goal.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, remember the pineapple head, don't we? Nottingham Forest guy.
Jason Lee.
Pineapple head. Yeah.
But at least his haircut wasn't going to fall off. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. It didn't look to be moving a lot. I don't know. Yeah.
Nah. Anyway, so that brings to a conclusion. We've done our 3 matches. We've done our Hammer of the Year. And obviously you guys in the live chat have got involved, and thank you for that. So before I wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to bring your attention, as I always do, to our appeal. And long-standing supporters of this channel will know what this is about. And anybody that's passing through that are wondering who we are and what we're all about, we are about a little bit of silliness and just having a little bit of a laugh in the main. But this is the serious bit. So this little girl here, Isla Caton, she's suffering from neuroblastoma. Now, what's that, I hear you cry? Well, allow me to tell you, this is a form of cancer that is particularly rare, particularly aggressive, usually affects people that are in younger years, as she is. She's 6 years of age. There ain't no treatment for this in the NHS, despite this wonderful institution that we've got called the NHS, and it is a wonderful institution. But there ain't no treatment for this in this country, so it forces the family to have to seek treatment for their daughter who's gravely ill overseas. So they've got to pay not just for the treatment, they've got to pay for flights to and from, they've got to pay for their accommodation once they're there, their living costs. And please don't for one moment think that the TV license, the water rates, the mortgage or the rent, the gas, the electricity, the phone bill, please don't for 1 minute think that, they're all going to turn around and say, I tell you what, don't worry, you've got your problems to deal with. We'll don't worry about those bills. They're still piling up, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a family that, despite we're all the last sort of 12 to 18 months, we've all kind of gone through the ringer a little bit, but this family have been going through it repeatedly. So all I'm asking you to do, what the information that's on this banner here is in the description below YouTube and on Facebook. All I'm asking you to do at this point, copy it, paste it to your social media platforms with just a little note as to what it's about. If you can put any money in the pot, then the Just Giving page is there. Please do so. Any donation from £1 upwards would be greatly received and appreciated. But if, at the very least, if all you can do is just put it on your social media platform to keep the momentum going for this campaign, then please do that. The clock's ticking, guys. We need you to do this now. If you haven't already done so, we need you to do it now, not tomorrow, next week, not next month, because we don't know what the picture's going to look like in that time frame. So we need to try and get as much money in the pot to try and help this little girl out sooner rather than later. The clock is ticking. And I thank you very much indeed for your attention, as always. So, gentlemen, I am going to bring things to a conclusion there. I'm just going to have a little quick look at the comments that have just come in before I do that. Tom's there. He used to make a save and his hair was on the other way. Oh, mate. Oh, seriously. I wouldn't know whether, like I say, he could make a save like what Gordon Banks made in that game against Brazil from Pele, where you look and go, seriously, how the hell did he do that? That save defies the laws of physics and everything that makes sense. But as he did it, his hairpiece fell off. I just think, like, oh, for fuck's sake, I can't take this seriously. And I agree exactly with what Luke says. If you can't hold on to your hair, not really sure you can be trusted. Certainly couldn't be trusted with a ball, for Christ's sakes. I mean, the wig sort of like dropping down in your eye line. It's like, how the bloody hell can you see it? Yeah, he did have a wig fresh. He absolutely did. But I got a funny feeling Sasarilic had something similar. I might be getting confused, but I'm fairly sure he did. Anyway, I digress. So, gentlemen, as always, it has been a pleasure to have your company for the last 3 hours, 20 minutes and counting. I'm going to wrap it up there. Is there any final words that you gentlemen want to say before we call it a day?
No. That's pretty much it. Like I said, highest ever finish. There's over the next few weeks, there's going to be more lows than highs. But as you can see, Tom's been on before. We had a couple of guests line up. But if anyone wants to come on, just drop us a message, and we're more than happy to add you in.
Absolutely, and exactly as you said, Tom's been one of the guests that we've had on, and there was someone that we had in the pipeline for tonight. Unfortunately, and I'm not going to sort of shine a light on the individual too much. That's not fair. We did have a guest lined up for tonight, but obviously, work commitments and everything, and it happens. It is what it is. We appreciate any time that anyone can put in, but we appreciate also sometimes that just life gets in the way. And again, that's the reason why I'm doing this tonight, because Duke normally presents this, but he's been a little bit waylaid at work, so you've been stuck with me. Sorry about that. But Jazz, any final thoughts from you?
Not really. We're getting to the bit where we're going to enter the 2000s, where hopefully we'll have more and more kits to wear that we have in our collection from this period, and we'll certainly remember more things going on. Milesy, sort of his memory in the next couple of seasons. I mean, he's beginning to walk. He's at school now. Hopefully,
the dog get my homework.
Hopefully, he's talking a little bit and he knows what's going on. It's really good.
I still have my rattle to it, people.
Yeah, and Gatesy's met his future missus, so the stories are beginning to unravel.
Yeah.
So we're all serious. Like I said, I've got a job now. I mean, I got married early, so I'm working now. Still got no kids yet, so I've done well. Even though my mum since got married, where's your kid? Where's the kid? Have a kid, like Indian style. Like,
where are they? Where are they, Jazz? Where are they?
Where are they? Yeah. So I've got a job. Gatesy's met his wife. Miles is at school. We obviously I wore the kit.
Was running the park.
So it's more memories for everyone, and it's going to get more interesting. And for me, it's a transition from no money to Sky and just appreciating, like I was mentioning, the quality of the players that we have. Perhaps we've forgotten, and more with what we're watching. I'd just like to compare that, what we're covering and what's happening now, and perhaps we forgot how lucky we were with some of the really class players we had. And it all goes back to what they earned, what they were worth, to some of the like Haller. I'm going to mention it again. You look at Haller, 14 million, and you look at Sinclair, the Canio, and Toei, and then you say, "Oh my god!" And then there's a huge amount of fans who back Haller up. Like, watch our videos, follow us, and you might understand why some of the comments, especially from me out there, like. But yeah, been great. Yeah, another show, another legendary evening, and away we go. Really, yeah, brilliant.
And the only thing I'm going to finish on, just before anybody decides they want to tuck up in bed at 24 minutes past 11 on a Thursday, please make sure, if you haven't already done so, that you like the video, that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure that you hit that bell icon so that as and when either Duke or I upload any new content to this YouTube channel, you are going to be the first one to be notified about it. And please feel free to, if you want to put this particular stream on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, and share it to your friends who are West Ham fans, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're just football fans and they like a little bit of a laugh and a giggle. Recommend us, And again, the whole point about this, one of the things that we like to try and do, the more followers, the more subscribers that we get, the more people we can give the message to about Isla, to try and, again, give that appeal a little bit more traction, and hopefully do a little bit of good in the world.
And we've hit a milestone in subscribers, Gatesy, haven't we? We've hit a big 4, haven't we? Milestone.
Last time I looked, which was about half hour ago, we hit 422. We smashed past 400 the other day. And we've absolutely ploughed through. We've hit 422 last time I looked. And as I say, all you guys in the live chat, as I say, please feel free to share us, share our Twitter handle, share our Facebook, but more importantly, share the YouTube channel link, and as I say, any of our videos that you wish to share on your social media platforms, you don't need our permission, so just crack on and do it. And thanks for joining us, Steve, as well as Luke and Peach and Tom and Mark and Kent when he popped on earlier, all you guys in the live chat, and anybody that watches it subsequently, thank you for your attendance. So guys, I am going to run the credits and I am going to end the broadcast thereafter. Mr. Miles, how do you want to finish? I think he's going to sleep.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Okay. I'm thinking. Sorry, I wasn't listening. I'm thinking of the show what we were doing on Monday. I was sorry, I was not with it.
I thought you'd gone, mate. I thought you'd.
No. I
thought he'd fallen asleep on me.
No, I'm not. I was thinking about the game because we was mentioning about the stuff what we were doing, and I was talking about the game on Monday. Sorry. My mind gone blank.
That was the England second half, mate.
Even Steve thought you dropped off.
That was the England second half. Me and Miles.
I wish.
Mate. Oh my god. Oh.
He's got a day off tomorrow, Steve. He's a lightweight. I'm the one. That's
I've got half a day off. I'm half as bad. But then I got to drive my daughter up to Warwick for my sins. Yeah, I've got to enjoy that. So she can start.
Milesy, what are we?
Yeah. I don't know. What are we?
F huge, aren't we?
I
No,
think
we're fucking
quite
massive.
large.
Yeah, we're fucking massive, of course.
And you and me are going to finish off with her?
Yeah, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on.
Join us next week, guys. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.